Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
The Ariel Helwani Show is back in your life on this Wednesday, January 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It is great to be here on a lovely, lovely, lovely Wednesday afternoon in New York City. And if I'm being honest, right off the bat, I do have to say I'm struggling a little bit right now.
What happened?
Well, I don't know if you could see how are these cameras. My
your finger's got a splinter?
very pruny, very dry, and I'll explain why. Do you want to know why, Frank?
Yeah, did you stay too long in the shower?
It's worse. It's actually worse than that. And so right before the show starts, I like to go to the bathroom because here I am sitting for 4.5 hours, right? Or so, give or take. And who do I see in the bathroom is one GC. And we're both washing our hands. And much to my happiness, GC mentions, hey, happy to see some hand washing around these parts. I'm like, me? Who, me? Really? Like, I'm Mr. Hand Wash. Like, you look up hand washing in the dictionary and you see my name or my face in any event. We're doing multiple pumps, right, GC? We're multiple pumping, we're washing, we're talking about the flu season, we're talking about pneumonia, we're talking about strep, we're talking about it all. Real great hand washing talk. We're still talking about it all post-washing, and some guy comes out like guns blazing, like Kramer circa 1997 Seinfeld, and barrels through the door and hits me as I have the paper to open the handle like this, right? I open the handle like this. He comes barreling through the door, thus making my hand, not the tissue paper, hit the handle. Right?
I didn't notice the paper in your hand to do that, but Kramer-esque is exactly what it was. He blew through
the door.
Exploded out, jammed you in the corner. You were like, whoa! It pressed you up against the wall.
Did he apologize?
Okay. No, it gets worse.
Okay.
So then I'm like, well, that means I got to go wash my hands, right? And
I dipped.
GC's
Actually,
like,
this literally just happened like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, GC's like, see you later. I got to go.
What are you going to do? Stand there and hold your hand while you wash your hands?
Be nice.
Stand awkwardly in the bathroom?
You liked the talk from the last washing.
And I said, see you later. Have a great show, man. Also, I have to say, I'm like, Rick just asked me, he's like, do you ever see people not wash their hands? I'm like, it happens. I was here last Friday. I'm not going to name any names.
Story within a story.
I don't know the dude's name, but I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the stall, taking care of business, doing whatever. That's neither here nor there. Guy comes running in, vomits everywhere. I'm in there. And just keeps vomiting and keeps vomiting. And I'm just
didn't wash? Didn't wash?
No. I had to run out at one point. I eventually just had to run out.
You didn't wash.
If he didn't wash his hands, that guy needed a shower and maybe even an ambulance. But yeah.
Okay.
Terrific scenes in the Yahoo bathroom.
That was the sub-story. Can we go back?
Yes.
Yeah. Back.
So I go back.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
No. It's good. It's a good story, especially if you're enjoying your lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
Please welcome. Go back. Start washing my hands again. Now these are one of those like censored sinks, so it goes on, it goes off, it goes on, it goes off. My shirt is all wet now. I'm a mess because I'm going on, off, and I'm seeing that there's 2 minutes before the show starts. Okay. Then what happens is I go back to the thingy to get the tissue thingy to open the door. Well, guess what happens? It's like jammed up in there. I try to do it ever so slightly to get it to where I don't touch. I touch.
So you have to wash again.
What is this? This is like the board game Operation?
Yes.
And now you have to wash your hands again?
That's exactly what it is.
You know that bacteria can jump, right?
That's exactly what it is. So it gets better. I go like this, touch. Oh, fuck. Now we're like literally 90 seconds away. And it's a bit of a walk from here to the bathroom.
Now we're complaining about the walk.
At the same time as I go back for my third wash, the guy who barreled through, no names, comes out of the stall.
Well, we don't know his name.
Okay,
He had a great olive sweater on.
Don't say it. Guess what?
Does he apologize?
Wait a minute. You're Ariel Helwani? Shakes your hand?
No. Worse. No wash.
Oh, they didn't wash. Wow.
Gets worse. Stands there as I'm going for the third wash. Hey, so you guys expanding your studio or what?
Oh.
And I'm like, what? Meanwhile, all I can think about is, the sink's right there and you still haven't washed your hands. So I'm like, yo, 6 feet. He's like, you guys expanding your studio? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, I do work on this other thing, this and then. Like, we heard that you're expanding. I'm like, bro, can you wash your hands first, for fuck's sake, before you start asking me business questions as I'm on my third wash and you haven't washed once? No, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, and I have a show to do. And he's like, oh, because I'm like, you talking about this studio here? No, there's no expansion going on. We've already built the damn thing. We're good, all right? And then I had to run. And so hence 3 washes, pruny hands dry. People not,
Quick question though. So when you get pinned up by the door and you realize you had to wash your hands again.
Pinned up is the perfect way to put it. The door exploded and this man came through like the Kool-Aid.
I totally get that. Completely inappropriate.
And I was about 5 feet back. I had a great view of it. I laughed through it all.
Connor,
all right, see you, man. Have a good show.
Connor quoted you as saying, well, I guess I have to wash my hands again. I'm just curious if the guy heard you say that.
Oh, yeah.
He did, and he laughed.
He actually laughed.
He laughed and laughed at Ariel.
Oh, wow.
He's like, all right, nerd. I'm not washing him once.
Not only did he laugh, he then didn't wash himself.
Yeah.
Had the fiber last night, about to go do my business, and I ain't washing.
Knowing how people in New York are, I thought he might think that was kind of,
This is those fighting words. Playing in the,
You'd be like, well, I guess I gotta watch
right now,
hands.
and this guy is watching this.
I don't care.
Being shamed.
The whole thing was ridiculous. And then on top of that, he starts asking me about the freaking. Yeah, he starts asking me about the freaking studio. You're right. They put our show up in the little like common area with closed captioning. So someone might be watching this right now. And we might have exposed. Tom Aspinall is so embarrassed by this situation. Look at him.
You knocked him over.
He's face first.
He's reading the closed captioning right now, and he's like, God, that guy sounds like a jerk. And then he sees he's wearing a nice olive sweater, and he realizes.
Stop saying the sweater. Stop saying the color.
It was a great sweater. I mean, actually, if he hadn't just erupted through the door like Vesuvius, I would have been like, oh, that's a great olive sweater.
That's great.
Instead, I could just stand there and laugh at the entire situation.
Erupted like Vesuvius. I love it.
PT, you think you're missing out. You're actually missing out on nothing. There's nothing. Nothing good happening here.
I don't think you could be happier than having a conversation while washing your hands about potential illnesses you could catch for not washing your hands. That seems to be utopia for you, Ariel.
It's bliss. Yeah, you're right.
When's Uncrowned Blanchardstown opening?
We're working on that.
We're expanding the studio.
Once we finish expanding the studio, we're going to go over
we're
Tyler.
expanding the studio to Blanchardstown.
Speaking of bliss, my good friends over at NordVPN, they provide a bliss for all their customers. We love NordVPN, and today's episode is presented by our good friends over at NordVPN. Why use NordVPN? It's the fastest VPN in the world, no buffering or lagging while streaming, and stops your ISP from throttling your bandwidth. Yes, NordVPN protects your private information like bank details, passwords, and online identity, including while you're traveling and using public Wi-Fi. We all do it. Plus, one NordVPN account can be used on up to 10 devices. It's premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/uncrowned. Again, nordvpn.com/uncrowned. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Please support them because they support us. You know I use them. I've talked about my experiences overseas. They are the best, and we appreciate them very much. Now, before we get into things, and yes, we're having a laugh and having a good time, very, very scary scenes out in Los Angeles right now. We have a lot of friends and viewers and colleagues who live out there. Our thoughts are with you. Please stay safe. This is straight out of a movie, to be honest, and it is extremely worrisome and scary. So our thoughts are with you all right now, and hopefully this ends in very short order. So please, Los Angeles, be safe out there, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. Now, also want to mention that today's program is a very eclectic one. It's one that we're very excited about. We have a little bit of something for everyone. Coming up at 2 o'clock, we have my prospect of the year. Yes, in case you missed the first annual Ariel and Ade Boxing Award Show, which premiered last night at 5 p.m. Eastern over on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel, which you can now, of course, check out after this program is over. Yes, if you're watching live, don't go over there. You can do it in about 3 or so hours. Ade and I gave out our hardware, and Moses Itauma, the unanimous pick, not just from us, but from everyone. Prospect of the year, 11-0. 20 years young, had that brilliant first-round knockout, another one on the final card, the final major card of the year back on December the 21st in Riyadh. He is someone that a lot of people think might be able to break Mike Tyson's record, being the youngest heavyweight champion of all time in boxing. He is an absolute phenom. Again, 20 years young, and he's starching people in the first round. He'll join us for the very first time on this program. I'm looking forward to talking to him again because, of course, we all remember the time that I saw him in Paris in the middle of the night. LeBron was there. KD was there. Noah Lyles was there. Summer McIntosh was there. They were all there. Bob Costas was there. Every luminary was on the streets of Paris on this one particular night. And from afar, who did I see but the young prince of boxing, the king himself, Moses Itauma. I was going long thinking that the photo might come up for those that may, like I was going long, just kind of belaboring the point, thinking the photo might pop up as I'm, there it is, there we are on the streets of Paris, myself and Moses, King Moses. What a time, what a time. Anyway, at 2:30, the founder, the man, the face of BKFC, Dave Feldman, going to be joining us in studio. He has a massive show coming up on January 25th in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. They're talking 17,000, 18,000. Insanity. Looking forward to having him in studio. Of course, that's the one headlined by Eddie Alvarez versus Jeremy Stephens. There's a lot to talk to him about. At 3:30, one of my favorites, Payton Talbott, my pick for 2025 Breakout Fighter of the Year. He'll be joining us to talk about his fight at UFC 311 in about 10 days' time against Joanny Barcelos. Probably screwed that one up. How do you say it, GC? You're saying the Portuguese names very good, the Brazilian names right now.
Carlos Praches?
No, Barcelos.
Oh, Raoni Barcelos?
Raoni. There was once a time where I had to tell you how to say the names. Now you're telling me how to say them.
Remember we had to do that every time before the show in the early days?
And you were like, so who is this
Chandler?
Mendez? In any event, he'll be joining us to talk about that. And then we'll end things off with Matt the Hammer Hamill, who I haven't had on this show, I think, ever. Of course, I've talked to him many times over the years. The only man to defeat John Jones. He had some incredible news that he posted on social media recently. In case you missed the social media post, Matt Hamill, the first and I do believe only fully deaf fighter in the history of the UFC. He was a part of the Ultimate Fighter back in I'm going to say 2006. It was Tough 3. He posted this on social media. I just got the most powerful digital hearing aids ever made for the first time in 41 years. I could finally hear my kids' voices, the sounds of people walking and laughing. I finally heard my mom's voice, and she cried. I'm looking forward to hearing my brother Pat's voice as well. I only hope he doesn't have a voice like a foghorn. This is awesome, although I know it will take time to adapt to all of this. Happy New Year. We'll talk to Matt Hamill about that. At around 4 o'clock. On Wednesdays, we like to shoot, though, and so let's get right into it, my friends. On the nose time. And, I've been up quite early. I woke up at the crack of dawn to watch that boxing card down under Gold Coast. Jaya Pataya once again proving that he is the freaking man at cruiserweight, and he absolutely starches David Nyika in the 4th round. Look at that. That's the first knockdown, and look at him go. This is the man who a couple of years ago, Eddie Hearn said, hey, Jake Paul, you want to fight a cruiserweight? I got one for you. Golly, imagine if that would have happened. And good to see David walk out of the ring. Jaya Pataya, Zurdo Ramirez next. Look at the smile on Eddie's face. 4th round knockout. IBF cruiserweight champ. Hoping to unify the belts later on this year. And then Eddie's talking about the Usyk fight. I don't know if it'll ever happen. Usyk approaching 40. But golly, would that be interesting if he moved up to heavyweight? Usyk moving down to cruiserweight? I guess it could happen. He's not that big. But either or, it might actually be the second most interesting fight out there for Usyk at this point in his career after, of course, the winner of Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois on the 22nd of February. All right, let's get into it, friends. Shall we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hut. Ariel, WWE on Netflix. I disliked a lot about it. The biggest thing I hated was the advertisements all over the ring mats. Same thing UFC did, and it looks like shit all the time. You go back and rewatch the fights a year or two later, and you think, there was a movie called Woman King? Looks like shit. Crypto BS everywhere. What the F is Sweet Sweat? I don't want to know. I hate it. Obvious why they do it, but come on. I'll get into more negatives next time. Thoughts? Love the show. Love the crew. A lot of fun listening. Thank you. P.S. Frank's Golden Globe slap joke was great. Sold it. Bad play. What was the joke?
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to know?
I couldn't care less. Honestly, I couldn't care less. I think it's weird that Real American Beer is one of them. I feel like you look at the sponsors that are on there right now. There's Fortnite. There was Riyadh Season. There was maybe Prime. There was Netflix. It all kind of feels like, blue chippy. And what the hell is Real American Beer? I don't even know if that's a real thing. Is it a real thing? I guess it is. Yeah.
Frank was slamming some last night after the show.
Oh, okay. How is it?
Right now.
Oh, wow. All right. Drinking
Tastes
on the
all
job.
authentic. It's very watery, very, very American. What if they went the KSW route and had like the ads on the
on the wrestlers?
On the wrestlers.
GoldenPalace.com. It's been a while since we saw that sort of thing outside of the world of KSW. I'm not really bothered. In fact, it almost makes
it, to be honest.
It kind of makes it feel like real combat sports in a weird way because you associate it with boxing, with MMA. We are used to this. I know, there was once a time way back in the day, WCW, they would have the logo in the middle. Sometimes they would have a Snickers logo for a big pay-per-view. Don't really care. I actually thought more people would be upset with the black canvas. That was new. They now have blue for SmackDown, black for Raw. I wonder if they brought the black out so that the actual sponsor logos would pop more. I don't know. But I thought people would be more bothered by that. Or even the referees having a different shirt. They changed those as well. They now have like a dark gray black shirt, which wasn't always the case. But honestly, I really couldn't care less. And it does not bother me one iota. And I know back in the day, Vince used to say, it's too cluttered. It cheapens the brand, whatever. TKO is about making money, as they should be. They're not doing this for charity. And they see this blank canvas. Let's make some money. No one bats an eye. No one will even remember the old days in a few years. By the way, speaking of making money, the one thing that continues to make me laugh is when they celebrate. Like when The Rock was out there saying, this is the highest arena gate in WWE history, and everyone's like, yeah. You're just celebrating that you paid a lot of money for those tickets, right? Like, there's not a ton to celebrate there.
But doesn't it also mean that, like, no empty seat? Like, they sold every...
No. I'm 100% with you, Ariel. When I heard that, I was just like...
It's just the dollar figure?
There's not more seats in the building. There's still only 16,000 seats in there. Like, you're celebrating paying more for it. Like, congratulations, you guys are a part of the biggest gate. Like, I would be angry at that.
It's a weird one. If they would have said... This is the biggest crowd ever. Obviously not the case. They're in an arena. Okay, that's cool. Like, oh, wow, 93,000. But all you're celebrating is the fact that you paid a shitload of money. Now, you're seeing a common thread here with the UFC and WWE. TKO's come in and realized, hey, this stuff is popular. Let's just, like, the crowds aren't getting bigger per se. They're selling out as they were generally. They're just charging more for these tickets, and thus every time out there you're seeing we broke the record here, we broke the record here. This is our highest, our highest gate for a Raw, our highest gate for a PLE in America, our highest gate overseas, our highest gate for a fight night. It's just they just figured out that they can now charge more, and good on them. That's not a knock. I just think it's funny when the crowd cheers for these things. Anyway, Patrick McCrate, favorite segment of the week. Ariel, that Kane interview was amazing. When he was breaking down Aspinall, I couldn't get enough. My question, Prime Kane versus Aspinall, who wins and why? And for those new fans, enlighten them on just how good Kane was. Kane was revolutionary because, and it was interesting hearing him talk about coaching younger fighters and saying that he focuses on the striking with them. This is an incredible collegiate wrestler. This is an All-American. This is a champion collegiate wrestler from Arizona State University. He was unbelievable, and then he comes over and he develops in large part due to the work that that he had with the great coach Javier Mendez. He became a solid MMA striker as well. He was quick on his feet. He was big. He was strong. He had tremendous takedowns and takedown defense. He was the total package. He really was. Now, he didn't love the interviews and the showmanship and all that stuff, but who cared about that back then? I mean, it didn't really matter. He was representing Mexico and America, the Mexican-American community as well. His family had a great backstory. He was just so quick, and he would move like this, and then you would see him change levels, either take you down, ground and pound, or knock you out with tremendous boxing. And yes, I agree. I thought his breakdown was great. A lot of people were interested in it. And I hope I'm not breaking the fourth wall, but even Aspinall himself was touched. He was like, wow, you asked Kane about me? And he knows who I am. That's how humble Aspinall is. which I thought was great. And I was like, well, are you bothered that he, said that Jones was going to beat you? And he's like, no, not at all. He doesn't care about that sort of thing, which is part of the reason why I love Aspinall. I just wish the best for Kane. His story is a hard one to process for any human being, especially a father. And he seems to be in a great spot. He seems to be in tremendous spirits. He seems to be at peace with everything. And I can't imagine being in that sort of state when you have your sentencing in, 17 or so days. Perhaps he knows how it's going to play out already, and that's why he could be in that state. But, I say this time and again, those guys from that era, I get emotional when I talk to them because they remind me of those days, 2010, 2011, 2009, and the bond that we had. I would always see Kane, and one time I actually told him that I was a bit of a germaphobe, and so our running joke, and I referenced it at the beginning, was we would give each other a fist bump, but like an air fist bump. And that's why I did this at the beginning, and he laughed. So, yeah, just great memories, and I'm happy to see him in great spirits. I remember when, the incident happened, and he was going through all of that, and it was literally 3 months after he was on the show again. He talked to us about the ayahuasca and the kind of spot that he was in mentally and the good spirits that he was in, and it was just heartbreaking to see what had happened once you find out about the details. And so let's see how this all plays out. But I think everyone in the MMA community is pulling for him. And ultimately, you're asking me Kane versus Aspinall, the fans would win. That's my answer.
Boo.
Sorry. Who wins?
I got Kane.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to Tom Aspinall. I think the best version of Kane probably beats any heavyweight who ever lived. Like, he really has no weaknesses. He really has no flaws. The cardio is going to be there. The striking's there. The wrestling's there. Like, he can beat a big guy. He can beat a small guy. He's kind of flawless in his prime. Once the knees went, then it was like, all bets are off. Francis Ngannou is going to catch you if that's the case. But at his absolute best, I might have Kane as the best who ever did it.
Do you think he was okay with me saying that Tom reminded me of a potential love child of one Frank Mir and himself?
I think he was okay with it, but I will say that, like, as you said it, the wheel started turning in my head, and I was thinking that he was thinking I'd whoop his ass. I think that's what he was thinking.
I freaking love that.
That in his prime, he was thinking in his prime he would whoop his ass. Because he wasn't, like, immediately effusive, and then he starts to, like, kind of, like, stretch it out and be like, he's great, he's good, yeah, I kind of see it. Like, he didn't, like, immediately go to, like, I love him. And so I was like, I think in his head he was now I'm just playing, like, psychoanalyst based on nothing, but the delay to me made me think he was thinking A, he would whoop his ass, or B, what he kind of then ultimately said later in terms of, like, he thinks he's flawed in a certain way because his patterns are predictable. But yeah, man, Kane at his apex was a bad MFer, man. Really bad dude.
Kyle, hey GC, I'm interested in your thoughts on round robin parlay bets. I don't think I've heard you bet one on the show. Do you hate them, or do you just don't take them on the show because they are too hard to explain?
Yeah, I don't hate them, but yeah, it's just too much to explain on the show. It's essentially a parlay where you're taking, say you're taking 4 legs, but you're putting in multiple bets to where if only 3 legs hit, then a few bets will hit. If only 2 legs hit, then that one bet will hit. It's a way to sort of cover yourself on the parlay, but you have to be putting in multiple bets. But sportsbooks now give you the option to where you can just round robin the selection, so it'll be like 10, 15, 20 bets at $10 a piece. It's just too complicated to, like.
Yeah, you already lost me.
Yeah, it's
that one. The one that you do where it's like the points.
The point spread is probably about as complicated as I'll go.
All right,
that one is pretty simple when you find out the rules.
Death of Arthur. Hey Ariel and crew, I'm a member. And I missed GC and Rick's live chat last month. When are you guys doing another one so I can make plans to see it? A cheeky request. Tell Ant Evans to do a live members chat as well. He is a ride in the chat every week. Gosh, we found Ant's one fan. That's amazing.
I think that's just Ant.
It's actually
that's Ant's account.
That might be Ant. I don't know about this members chat that he's talking about, but sounds like a great idea. Great question. Because I will be doing one next Thursday. I will be doing a members-only live chat next Thursday following the Boys in the Back. So that is, what would that be? The 16th of January?
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know what you were like? I don't know about this members chat thing.
Well, no, he's saying, he wants Ant to host it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought he meant
wants
like
an Ant members chat.
Oh, jeez.
He's saying he saw our chat.
Oh,
When's the next chat? And give us an Ant chat.
Oh, I thought he said, I didn't see your chat. When is the next one?
Yes.
Also,
That's actually exactly
you should
right.
yeah,
add
that's what he
Ant
said.
in
That's
there.
what he said. That's what he said.
Yes, and PT's talking, and I don't hear a word that he's saying. I just see him like shooting guns.
Shooting guns.
What's happening, PT? You're just like talking and shooting
PT
guns.
and the dots in the microphone is the number one rivalry in
Yes.
MMA.
What's going on?
talk
What's
shit.
happening?
How many
He gave us
Negronis do we have
finger
on that mic right now?
Pizza
There's
and the microphone that he has to adjust the dots on. This is a feud.
You're right, PT.
Frank's just getting a bit aggressive with me, and I've got an itchy.
It's
I've
still
got an
sitting
itchy
at
trigger
6.
finger.
I don't know.
This. Why does it do this? I don't know what to do. Look, and he
turning
takes
up the mic. I had to explain to him the
mute
dots are called
and we're doing-
Negronis. Leave 5 Negronis on the mic for me, not 6.
Here, this never happened in my old job, Ariel. Do you
Yeah.
remember the mic just
Oh, it
stay
used to
where it
happen all the
was?
time.
Something to do with.
Yeah. What did you want to say when you were
Yeah.
shooting the guns?
Oh yeah, I was just taking the piss out of you. Sorry, the moment's gone.
Okay, fair enough. In any event, an
Wait,
Ant chat.
you were about to plug your chat though.
No, I said next Thursday after the boys in the back, I'll be doing a chat.
Look at that.
And I thought that he was saying like a chat where everyone could talk together. But if he wants an Ant hosted chat, I mean, you could put it up on the poll. Will more than 3 people show up? I don't know, but I guess if you want it, it could just be.
I
feel
feel
like-
love for Big Ant out there.
Nah, I just
I feel like
I mean,
every
the
chat room,
slander.
every chat room is an Ants members chat at this point.
that is a great call.
It's kind
He's
of
holding court over there.
I get an on call every week, and it's like getting a chat. You know what I mean?
Oh
He's
my
in there
God.
discussing various topics. It's great.
I just get an Ant podcast. I don't pick up, so I'll get an 8-minute voice note. It's great. I do want to also mention, if you are a member, for the next 5 weeks, you will get interviews from our live show back in May at the NJ Pack in Newark, the night before UFC 302. We had Armin Sarukian, Kayla Harrison, Aljamain Sterling, Ali Quinta, Alex Pereira, and the great Daniel Cormier, all live up there with us for about 30 minutes. And great chats, which still hold up. Not a ton has happened to these individuals since. And it's my last chat with DC on air, and it was a great look back. That was a bit of a longer one. And so every Saturday for the next 5 or so months, members only, these have never been seen before, we will post those on the channel. So if you're not a member, step up. Matt Moe. Well, speaking of stepping up, he's asking about a stepping down. Ooh, I could get in trouble with this one. Sup, Ariel. Your thoughts on Justin Trudeau stepping down as Prime Minister of Canada? Now, Frank, I consider you my moral compass when it comes to all things politics. Should I answer this question or not?
You should answer it.
Oh, okay. Wait, I heard
Did he
someone
step
say,
down though?
I heard someone just say no in the background over there.
No, that's from another issue that we have going
Oh,
on
okay,
back here.
perfect. Yes, he did step down. He announced that he'd be stepping down, and he would be allowing, if I got this correctly, he would be allowing for a new leader for the Liberal Party, a new representative to step up because of the upcoming election, which we expect will happen in the next few months between now and October. And so the thought process is, he is so unpopular at this point, they want someone else to be the representative. In Canada, much like I think in Ireland, unlike here in the United States, you vote for the party, not the individual. And so the Liberal Party thinks if we have someone else in this spot, we have a better chance of beating the Conservatives. And the leader of that party is Pierre Poilievre. I have already said on this program that I like Pierre a lot, and I like what he stands for and what he believes in. And I have also, I think, alluded to the fact that I do not like Justin Trudeau for multiple reasons. Some personal, believe it or not, and some political. And I actually will say that there was a time where I was a fan, in large part because Justin Trudeau's the son of Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who is one of the most beloved prime ministers in the history of Canada. The airport in Montreal is named after Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who was in power in the late 70s and early 80s. And when his son came into power, he, and he's been prime minister for, I think off the top of my head, 9 years. You know, he was a fresh-faced, young, good-looking guy, and he was bringing in a lot of fresh, new, innovative ideas. And it's just been an absolute mess. It's been an absolute mess dating back to the pandemic and since. a myriad of reasons that I don't really need to get into here, but I'm very happy to see him go, and I say sayonara to him. I will also say, if you're a fight fan, he once had a celebrity sort of like charity boxing match. There's actually a picture of him weighing in, and I also do believe that he once sparred, believe it or not, Vanderlei Silva, a friendly spar. But if you type in Justin Trudeau and Vanderlei Silva, there's some stuff out there. As crazy as that sounds, it's true. So anyway, not a fan, sayonara. And what a war raging on, guys, between Canada and the U.S. What is going to happen? Is Canada going to become the 51st state? Do you guys see this stuff? I mean,
financially annexed?
Yeah. They're going to use economic force to take over Canada. Where am I going to sit in this battle?
Aren't we going for
tell us.
Greenland too?
Oh, everything. But I mean, obviously the Canadian one is near and dear to my heart. Two perhaps of the greatest neighbors of all time who have lived in harmony for, centuries. Now, are we finally reaching? Did South Park predict this way back when in 1999?
I think it's The Simpsons.
No, South Park. Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
The Simpsons has like a newspaper, or was it Futurama? One of them shows a newspaper or.
Nah, the South Park one was the big one. The South Park movie was the first time that Canada was painted in such a negative light. And I remember playing in the Maccabi games, the Pan Am Maccabi games, and I was sitting in the bus as I was representing Canada the summer that this film came out in 1999. And who else but the great Doug Gottlieb comes on the bus. He was a member of the American team, and he sees us all wearing the Canadian gear, and he starts singing, I kid you not, Blame Canada.
That's a little
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the despair that we were in? And then, of course, I brought up the fact that he was kicked out of Notre Dame for some like credit card fraud situation, and I think he had some issues elsewhere.
blow.
But listen, tit for tat, eye for an eye. So anyway, yeah, it's tense times. But I think he's just winding everyone up, if I'm being honest. He, of course, I'm talking about 47. We doing a watch party for the inauguration? What are we doing on the 20th?
I thought we were doing a watch party. Starting now, we were going to stream every day up until.
I'm going to be at Mar-a-Lago.
Ah, yeah. You know yourself.
Boots on the ground.
Aldo, the way I see it, pro wrestling / WWE is for kids. I used to be a huge fan when I was a kid until I realized it was fake. For me, that was much worse than finding out Santa Claus wasn't real. By the way, he spelled Santa Claus Clause, like the Santa Claus.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I was such a big fan that one of my first fights in school was me doing the crippler crossface on a kid and making him cry. I don't think I could ever get into it as an adult until I have a kid of my own who likes it. But am I right in assuming pro wrestling demographic is children under the age of 18? You are incorrect. Are you kidding me? I mean, the Attitude Era was all about 18 to 34-year-old males in particular. That's when it got, very, very R-rated. Now it's more PG-13. But I know a lot of people who are in their 30s, 40s who are into it. And again, we don't have to get all into this and get all,
we also think this person doesn't know the answer to this question?
Maybe he's winding me up. But here's the thing. One more time. Yes, we're all aware it's scripted. In fact, never before has the WWE leaned so far into the fact that it's scripted. In fact, they even have a YouTube channel. I'm always sending Rick videos from it called WWE Vault, where they show you like the guys rehearsing their promos and vignettes backstage. The whole thing is scripted. We know all of this. And guess what? Some of your favorite shows and movies are scripted as well. What is the difference? Is the difference that it's happening in front of a live audience in an arena where they usually have, non-scripted sports? Is it because you feel like they're trying to pull one over you? I don't get it. If you just say like it's boring, I'm not into it, I don't like the athleticism, I don't like the acting, like that's fine. I don't like Game of Thrones. I don't like anime. I don't like Pokemon. I don't like
those
Dragon Ball
words.
Z. But if you're telling me that your issue with it is that it's scripted, well, so are all those other things. So is my favorite TV show, Seinfeld. So is The Wonder Years. So is Curb Your Enthusiasm. So is
Actually,
all
Curb
these
is
things.
not scripted.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I mean, just had to defend them there. Yeah.
You get the point. It's loosely scripted, okay? It's improv.
I mean, it's almost close to wrestling, to be honest.
Yeah.
They've got
You know
the
what?
little
You're
beats and
right.
Rhythms, and then they
You're
in the
100%
middle.
right. I don't get that. I don't get it.
I think you touched on something, though, that makes a lot of sense there, which is that maybe the friction in this is that for many, many decades, pro wrestling and pro wrestlers did try to blur that line, right? They did try to maintain kayfabe and kind of say like, oh, it's not real, and take that as an offense. I do think we've moved into an era where like nobody is under that guise anymore. The kayfabe stuff is pretty much dead at this point, nearly universally. But I still don't understand why people are so concerned about other people's consumption of wrestling rather than just their own. Who cares? I don't care who likes wrestling or doesn't like wrestling.
We were talking about this off air the other day. At least Connor and I were. It's changed from, oh, that's fake, to, oh, I'm not really into this. But it's like everyone has to justify, like, I'm not into
very
this.
Weird.
But so I think that's the new like meme, is making sure everyone knows that you're quote unquote not into it.
But
Yeah, what was the last event before this? Before the Raw Netflix one? You told us to watch it. Was it maybe on
Rumble,
like Black
no?
Friday?
I mean, WrestleMania, no?
No. There was one you told us to watch in like November.
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, and I turned it on and I was with one of my boys, and like,
oh yeah.
the whole time he just told me how like he'll never be a fan of wrestling. I'm just like, I don't care. This is what we're watching.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
just
what's
fun.
on. And then like by the end of it, he was like, all right, like I get why people watch it, but like I will never be a fan. I'm just like, I don't give a shit, man.
It's
I am not a
annoying.
fan either. It's okay.
Do you think it's almost like a shame thing where it's like they actually do like it, but they have to tell you
No.
they don't like it?
I think they
100%.
think it's just like so nerdy and like not their thing that they just couldn't fathom.
But if there's something that happens in my life and I don't like it, I don't tell people I don't like. Like I
It's a
don't go
weird
around
thing.
telling people that.
People
Who
are weird.
cares? Why
I was
does
going to tell you
anybody
a story
care?
about the pharmacy the other day, and you're like, I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me this shit. I don't want to hear what you like.
By the
or
way,
don't like.
go on Netflix right now. Number one global is Raw.
I
More
agree.
than
Like
Squid Games.
Big Rick over here plays Magic the Gathering. Like I would never.
Yes.
He's not telling me every 5 minutes.
It's weird.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
I'm just kidding.
Listen, I agree. I think it's weird too. When I went to my kids visiting
You
day.
motherfuckers, you're just doing this on air, huh?
Nah, listen, I went to my kid's visiting day and we were looking in his bunk, and then I'm like, whoa, what, like whose cards are these? There was like stacks of Magic cards. He's like, oh, that's my counselor. And then the counselor walked in just as I was kind of like sifting through, and I was like, ooh, this is weird. This is
Physical
weird.
card, shout out. That's a legend right there.
Nah.
Wow, I was really.
Do you have the
have a
cards
black-
as well?
I was just
No,
poking
no,
fun at
I
Rick. Now
don't.
you're like really getting.
When I was
Yeah, you're really
when I
getting
was a kid, I did. Now I just play it online.
What?
I have cards.
It's been a thing for decades, like.
Decades.
Oh
Magic
man,
the
this
Gathering?
is
I've been
like
playing since I was
old,
9, and fuck you guys for caring.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, to that point, GC's not confronting me in the cafeteria every day, being like, I could never do it. Like, why is that specific to wrestling? Where is that from? I don't understand.
Who knows? I'm tired of trying to like understand where these people are coming from. All I'll say is they got to Netflix first, which is where everyone from the NFL to the NBA, they all wanted to be there. And they have a consistent deal with Netflix, and it's worth billions of dollars, and it's only going to make wrestling more popular, and it's only better for everyone involved. So if you don't want to watch it, there's a gazillion other things out there. Just watch those things.
We don't care.
Yeah, watch Silk Stockings on USA Network instead, all right?
What's
Enjoy.
Silk Stockings? That sounds a bit erotic.
Like for
I
the
think it
90s?
is, and also I don't think that probably airs anymore. That's probably like a 20-year.
Nah, they
I was
would
going to
they
write
would-
that one
they would
down.
put that-
Silk Stockings. Is that
They
right?
would put that on after Raw sometimes.
That's
Shoe
my point.
Diaries.
This is from 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
whatever.
Shout out to Wizards of the Coast who created Magic the Gathering. I'm here. Just
Yeah, no.
I'm here.
Also,
Ariel,
I'll sing your praises all
90210
day.
is no
I'm here.
longer on air. Just so you know.
I that was a tremendous program, as was Dawson's Creek. I will also say, if not,
Dawson's Creek was
These
ass.
references are not
That one
aging
broke
you
quick.
at all.
listen, if not for Monday Night Raw, as the great Paul Heyman once explained in the first chapter of this program, the MMA Hour at AOL, which was on this floor, maybe even in this corner of the floor, way back when. If not for Vince McMahon saying, yeah, I don't mind the first season of The Ultimate Fighter coming on at 11:05 after Monday Night Raw on Spike TV, there maybe isn't a UFC or a Dana White or a Us or an Uncrowned or anything. That changed everything because all those fans stuck around after Monday Night Raw and said, ooh, what's this? And that's what absolutely changed the fortunes of the UFC. So proved to be a pretty monumental moment, and you're an MMA fan pretty much because of WWE. Matt
What's
Chiweezy.
that got to do with Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, they're gonna love that.
Hello, all, and welcome back. Couple of quick fire questions for you both. Different. Oh, they're both different. When is the first GFL fight going to be? April 4th. Location TBD. Kevin Lee said it yesterday. And then number 2, as I sit here feeding my second-born son, who's nearly 4 months old and was 2 months premature, I ponder, do I have a different kind of bond with this child to his sibling who's turning 3 in a few weeks? Do you, Ariel, and I think Rick, who I believe is the only other parent, as is Frank and Andy as well, have a different kind of bond with each of your children? Absolutely. I mean, boys and girls are different. The ages are different. There are definite common bonds, absolutely, but I have a different connection. I mentioned my second son, Walter, is very much like me, and I see a ton of similarities between us. And then my first son is a little more laissez-faire and laid back, but I have a ton of interest with him as well. And then the bond with the daughter is completely different. So, I think that's pretty natural. I think everyone is the same. I don't think that's something to be afraid of or ashamed of, right, Rick? I mean,
it's not. No, I hate there. Everybody wants to know this idea of like where they fit in your hierarchy. Am I your best friend? Am I your second best friend? Am I your third best friend? Every relationship is unique. There's not this tiered structure. It just doesn't exist that way. And so, yes, your relationship is different with all these kids. It doesn't mean the love is here or here or here. It's just how it is. But yeah, they're individual humans. My 2 daughters, I have 2 daughters and a son. My 2 daughters could not be more different. And so naturally, how could my relationship be the same with the 2? It's just completely different.
Do you know how you know the bond has been solidified? Yesterday, we're sitting at lunch, and my Apple Watch goes off, and I look at it, and it says, Pimp Daddy 69 would like to have access to your PayPal account with this code. And I show it to Rick. He's like, who is it? I'm like, this is my kid.
Is that really his name?
And I texted him, and he was like, yeah, sorry, Dad. I was trying to get a chess app. I didn't realize it was 99 cents. It's tied to your PayPal account. I'm like, it's all good, Pimp Daddy 69.
Yeah. Oh
I see you.
Wow.
Sick username,
Did you ask him about the genesis of the username, or did you drop it there?
And this is the thing, because he's so much like me, I know what the genesis is. Like, it's irony.
Oh, okay, Pimp Daddy, whatever number.
I don't think it is
69. 69
my
was
first
the number.
screen name on AOL Instant Messenger was Huge Joint, and I was like 12. I just picked it randomly, and then I had friends at school say, my mom says I can't talk to you online. I'm like, why? She's like, your screen name. I'm like, what's wrong with my screen name? It wasn't until years later I'm like, yeah, that probably didn't look so hot. Huge Joint is trying to message you right now.
Was the name Hugh Joint or like
Huge?
Just Huge Joint.
Yes.
No,
Wow.
okay, so
Just
no like
no salt.
no
No
wordplay or
pretense,
anything.
no
Like,
nothing.
I had never
Huge
smoked
Joint.
or been around it. I was 12, and I'm just like, oh, this is a
great.
funny name. Yeah, put
That's
myself
great.
on an island. I did.
I can't believe he got Pimp Daddy 69. Like, that's a sought after name.
It is.
know,
Like,
right?
I can never-
In
open.
fact, I'm going to pay him to get that screen name.
Frank wants it.
This is from Who the Fuck Is We? Bonjour and shalom, Ariel. Time to test your journalistic integrity once and for all. Although as a 6-year weekly listener, I have the utmost faith. Agree or disagree? Saying Josh Allen's start streak is still intact after simply one snap against the greatest football franchise of all time, New England, is a bit ridiculous. No, absolutely not. What are you talking about? He could have played the entire game. He wanted to just go out there for the boys to show that, hey, despite the fact that I may have broken my left hand in week freaking 1 en route to becoming the NFL MVP, I'm going to waltz out there, take the snap, and then say, Mitch Trubisky, Mike White, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And what a performance it was by my beloved Buffalo Bills, allowing the New England Patriots to win the game and thus drop from the 1st pick overall to the 4th pick overall, that loser franchise, and thus firing their coach. Not sure why, if it was because of the win or whatever. I mean, it was just a masterclass from Sean McDermott and the boys. James Cook gets his record. Josh Allen gets his record. He's going to win the MVP. Anyone who says otherwise is just a plain old hater. We're looking good. We're feeling good. Heading in to what should be, I feel pretty good going into at least the divisional round. Wild card round. I always get confused with the wild card, super wild card, divisional round, first round. If we have to face the Ravens, I will admit, squeaky bum time, a little bit nervous. But we're heading into the first round of the playoffs, the super wild card round, against one of the surprise playoff teams, the Broncos of Denver. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend, the myth, the man in the hat, the mayor of the Nutmeg State, The one and only Chuck Mindenhall is a diehard, lifelong Broncos fan. Now, of course, he probably isn't that big of a fan anymore because he witnessed them win back-to-back Super Bowls, and he kind of jumped off the bandwagon.
You can't do this to people.
Just
because they have had success, it does not mean that'd be me like saying to you, "Here, listen, Forrest are coming second. He's won the European Cup. Calm down." You know?
Nah, I wasn't
Relax.
there. I didn't witness it. So to me, it's all new.
Relax, mate. It's old hat.
I asked the man in the hat to come on today's program to debate me as to why he thinks his Broncos even have a chance to appear in some sort of dogfight, to hang in there with the Buffalo Bills on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And guess what, PT? Guess what?
He's on right now. How's it going, Chuck?
He declined.
Oh,
he didn't want the smoke. He didn't want the smoke. But guess what he did? Guess what he did? Typical Bronco fan. Guess what he did? He sent us this.
This is amazing.
All right, and we can accommodate all 53 wives and coaches? Perfect. We'll see you in February. Ariel, what's shaking, man? It's Chuck, your boy. I'm out here in the magical kingdom, getting set for my Denver Broncos to be here in February. A little recon to send my boys out here. Tough draw, man. I am sorry that we have to do this. I'm always about the Bills. This was a tough draw. I think the last time the Broncos played the Bills in the playoffs was the only time, 1991 AFC Championship. You guys got the better of us that time, but we're playing with house money this time. Young and hungry, baby. Young and hungry. We shouldn't even be here. I think they set us at 5.5. 10 victories, baby. We'll see you on Sunday.
Look at this guy. This guy is walking around the match. I have a rule. Was that a Bo Nix jersey?
That was a Bo Nix like throwback style jersey. That's a gem.
It's only wore the weekend. Yes.
I'm sorry, Chuck. You can't wear a jersey of someone who's younger than you. Okay, I mean that's a faux pas. You can't do that. No, wear your John Elway jersey.
Listen, he's not here to defend himself. You calm down, Jordan. Clip all this off.
Lame jersey rule. Lame jersey rule.
Where's your Terrell Davis jersey?
I'll wear a 19-year-old's jersey right now. I don't care.
You wouldn't wear an Allen jersey?
Hang on, is Chuck away? Do I need to find someone for Friday now? This is a predicament.
No,
I
he's
anticipating.
I used to have a friend that had a jersey rule similar to that, but it was he can't wear any jerseys because he can't wear another man's last name on his back. I'm just like,
wow.
Well, that's weird.
It's just
All
not
right,
that
mate.
serious.
No, that's weird.
Is he a swinger?
What does yours have to do with age? You can't wear the jersey of
that's
someone
weird.
younger than you?
No, that's weird too. Look, I'm just trying to take shots. He says his team is going to be my team.
Yeah, they might, man. Bo Nix is balling.
What is it? 7.5, 8.5?
He said 5.5. I don't know if that's true.
No, I
feel like if it's only 5.5, they're begging.
No.
you to
I
take
think he meant. He meant they had them listed at 5.5 wins.
Oh, okay. All right, and they
So
got
he's saying
10
we're
wins
playing
on
with the house
season?
money. Yeah,
10 wins not as special with the 17-game season, you know?
I agree.
Could be tricky one, Ariel. You know what I mean? They could keep. They could force Josh
8.5.
third and long for the rest of the night. And
Stop it.
Make him
Minus
go with his arm.
455.
Minus 455 for the Buffalo
Good
Bills.
defense. Good defense.
No, they're good.
the old Broncos.
Listen, I wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers because they were a fraud. I didn't want the Bengals. The Dolphins suck, but they know us very well, and they played us tough at home. I didn't really want them as well, and so the Broncos were probably the best choice. But I'm nervous as hell. I mean, the Ravens are obviously super tough, and then of course the Chiefs probably. You'll see them in the conference channel. I don't know. I just won't freaking
I'm
want.
so
I
excited.
might have to wear my
So
Lamar
excited.
jersey tomorrow.
If you wear your Lamar,
I have my Lamar jersey as well.
Yeah.
turn
You
off.
wear the Lamar jersey
fuck
too.
both of you.
Yeah.
Wear it this
yours?
week.
Is yours black?
No, mine's purple.
Oh, I got the purple.
Wear it
one,
this
too.
week,
It's so great.
not next
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll wear it this week. If you guys play, you know.
Well, no, you know what? What makes more sense? Wear your Penix jersey this week in ahead of their playoff game, and then.
I'm on Bills
I'm
this
okay
year.
with
Bills
it, man.
throw a big old ton down on them there the other
I
day.
just have to say,
Oh,
Penix is such a gamer. We were winning that game until he saw the Bucks won, and then he was like, "You know what? We need to actually lose this now,
Yeah.
so we'll get a higher draft pick." It was big brain shit from Penix. Kirk Cousins
OT.
is never doing that. Kirk Cousins is never doing that.
He's way better than Cousins. He's unbelievable. I think he's class.
Lefty too.
But yeah, he's
Lefty
really
named Mike.
Yeah, no, he's great.
But
He's great.
it's Josh
Let's
Allen,
get Mark
baby. It's Josh
Ramondi
Allen's
on,
year.
Falcons
The Bills
beat writer,
year.
to
Gonna
tell us
win.
more about him.
He's gonna
Now
fucking
we're
win.
talking.
I think the Bills are gonna win this year. Honestly,
You think they're going to win it all? Plus 600 right now to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, real
well,
quick.
that's what I did.
Rick was
200
trying to
win
talk
it.
me into a Ravens plus 600.
PT,
I
what's
saw
up with
that
the
as
candle
well.
behind you?
It's light.
All right.
Yeah, no,
Good to know.
it's helped out. Yeah, I think it's doing
Really
doing the
illuminated
Lord's
the
work.
back of your
Winter
head.
It's called Winter Punch.
Oh, that's like
And
a
if you're not
soccer
careful-
bobblehead
if you're
right
not
over your
careful-
shoulder. I thought it was Justin Herbert.
Which one?
Okay, let
Oh,
me
yeah.
squeeze in a couple more here. Joe, personally, my walkout of the year was Anthony Smith. Not all for good reasons. The raw emotion pouring out got me like no other walkout this year. Any other walkouts where the backstory impacted how you felt watching it? I mean, it's a great shout, and it's an interesting one. It's sort of like, you know, PT went with Francis Ngannou for a promo sometimes, or like feel good moment. Actually, with Oban, I was thinking the same, because it is drawing from a tragic moment in one's life, a tragedy that they're trying to overcome. The Anthony Smith one was really hard to watch. I remember, was it Kat Zingano who was crying during her walkout when she fought Miesha Tate? I think it was, if memory serves me correct, and she had been through a lot. There's been other people who have cried. Did Michelle Watterson ever cry? I don't know. There have definitely been other ones, and there have been ones that there's emotion attached and whatnot. But yeah, that's a recent one, and it was tough. And I don't disagree. I will not argue against your call here. Bally Bunyan, Ariel, have you seen Dermot Kennedy's Tiny Desk concert? I have not. I know you expressed how much you love those. He is up there as one of the best, in my opinion. Just an incredibly passionate performance. I love Tiny Desk. My favorite is the Juvenile one. Shout out to Action Bronson. His was tremendous as well. He does say, curious to hear PT's take on Dermot, as he is an Irish singer-songwriter, wondering how he is perceived over there in Ireland by the people and what PT thinks about him, considering last show he said how artistic of an individual he was. Dermot Kennedy?
Yeah. I know Dermot Kennedy. Yeah, he's a great singer. He actually lives in New York, as far as I know. Yeah, really popular over here. Sells out massive venues. I haven't been to see him myself. I don't know any of his songs off the top of my head, but
all right.
Yeah, very good.
There you have it. Steven, glad to have you guys back. Looking forward to UFC London. Leon versus JDM is as yet not confirmed, and Paddy v. whoever not confirmed. What, if any, news is out there on Paddy and who will be facing? I have not heard. And yeah, I did mention the Leon JDM one, I think last year, at the end of the year. It looks like they're going in that direction. So let's see. Maybe we'll be out there for that. Who knows? You know, a little live show. George, don't rush St. Pierre. Lord Ariel, for this week's social etiquette question of the week, how do you get people to leave your house when the party is over? I had some friends over on New Year's Day and we had a great time. After midnight, we opened up another bottle and continued the festivities, but after 1 a.m. passed, I started to clean up and hint at being tired. The fellas stayed till 3 a.m., but I don't know how to get them to leave. What should I have done? This is a great question. Gosh, I want to draw upon a recent experience. There's a 0.01% chance they're listening. So should I just say it? Is that the beauty of?
Yeah.
Well, recently we had people over, and it was getting a little.
Whispering doesn't help.
Okay, recently we had people over, and it was getting a little bit late, and I also wanted to watch the Knicks Thunder matchup on Friday evening. And so, as we were just sitting around the table, and it was, we were talking, and it was a great time. It was a lovely, lovely time. It was a Shabbos dinner, Frank. I just sort of, meandered my way over to the other room where the TV was and where my kids were enjoying this highly anticipated matchup between the Knicks and the Thunder. And I was hearing them react to things, but I could not watch said things. And so my cue was to just go over there and sit down and just enjoy the game.
Without saying anything.
I just got up and walked there. It was a bit of an Irish goodbye, if you will.
In your own home.
Yeah. The classic, I think the classic move.
You left your missus stranded there, did you?
No, but they're good friends, so I don't think they care.
Were her friends and yours?
No, mutual.
Ugh.
I think the classic is the cleanup, but some people just don't take that as a cue.
Not nice.
You got to slap your knees.
I don't like that
and say,
either.
Well.
Yeah,
hit him with like the heavy, like
That's a good one, Frank.
you
You
gotta get
the
this out.
Yeah.
You just slap your knees. You go, well.
That is a good one. If you have kids, I often use my daughter in this particular light. You'll say like, you really need to get in the bath. You need to take a shower right now. You're filthy. Let me go up there and sort you all out. I'll put some bubble, and you kind of make it into a thing. So people are now thinking like, oh, okay, it's time to get into the bed. The bedtime routine. PT, correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope I'm not breaking the fourth wall. Didn't you have an incident recently where maybe some people close to you weren't? Or should we not?
Just call them cabs.
Okay.
Oh yeah, taxi's outside. Like, what? Taxi, go. It's paid for. Fucking get into it.
I stay in a small apartment, studios. Sometimes, the studio with the living room is right next to it. Sometimes I'll just get in my bed and just lay there and be like, all right, lock the door on your way out. Appreciate you coming.
That's it.
in the other room.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, this is Frank. Well, I have some people over. No, I don't think too much longer. No. Yeah. In fact, I think they're on their way out.
Jesus,
and then
Frank
I come
is a
back out.
legend at this.
And I do the,
Conniving.
well, and then slap.
Can I just say,
I like the well. I'm an all right guy.
Ariel,
All right.
when I was in
think
his
that's
gap,
about it for
Looks like
tonight.
we're out of beer.
that is the one. Ariel just fell asleep beside me. Yeah, when
I
we
didn't
were in
do
his
that.
gaff watching the basketball. Like, oh fucking hell! I was like, I'm going. Jesus Christ, let's not.
I was
play
like,
this
this game's over.
Ariel
It's
woke
the
back
second
up. He's like,
quarter.
You're still here, man?
Yeah.
Ariel,
It's the second quarter. I'm like, oh, this is a route. It's like 25
It
to
was
24.
around. What was it? It was.
There was
like
around.
30 points, wasn't it? Yeah, Mavericks.
Skinny. Happy New Year, Ariel. Why do you think Dana hasn't pulled the plug on Zuffa boxing? Or pulled the trigger, I should say. Maybe he's pulling the plug before he pulled the trigger. Seems like that would be a win-win for them. Is it even going to be called Zuffa boxing? Because Zuffa isn't really a thing anymore. In any event, that way UFC fighters can box and cross-promote with other promotions and they're still involved, but not directly as the UFC cheers to you and the boys in the back. I think
There's no way they'd let. That's a big leap he's gone for there, isn't it? That you can
it's silly.
cross promote.
Yeah, no, that's
No
silly.
way.
Listen, crystal ball prediction, no intel, just like, prediction. I think he does get something going in 25, and I wouldn't be surprised if our good friend Turkey Al-Sheikh is involved. How about that?
Beep.
There it is. Mr. Clean, Ariel, let's talk about McGregor versus Paul. I have several questions. Which Paul, by the way? I'm assuming Logan. You can answer them quickly since there's a few. What does this mean for McGregor's UFC contract? TBD, it's still so far-fetched. Do they count it as one? Do they not? Who the hell knows? I assume the UFC will want to be compensated. Yes. McGregor has been very open about having only 2 fights left on his UFC contract. Correct. Do you think this fight will count? It's TBD. Is the fight KO or bust for McGregor? In other words, will decision victory be viewed as a loss? If McGregor wins, does he call out Jake Paul? If this fight happens for the reported $250 million purse, does McGregor ever fight in the UFC again? I mean, it's so speculative. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I don't think there's... From the hardcore fans, I don't see a lot of interest. And it feels like there's a lot of roadblocks. Could it happen again? I went through it all. It's a real thing. Does it eventually happen? I don't know. Is it high atop my list of things that I want to see from Conor in 2025? I'll be honest, no. I think there's more interest in Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I think that's a gigantic fight. Logan versus Conor, I don't see it as much. Will it do huge numbers? Will it be massive box office? Absolutely. But I think most MMA fans would agree with me when they say if Conor McGregor is fighting in 2025, they would rather see him fight an MMA fighter in an MMA cage.
Any interest in KSI? No. It's seeming like
if Conor McGregor is fighting in 2025, I would much rather him fight an MMA fighter in an MMA cage. Would I watch it? Would we cover it? Would we talk about it? Of course. I'm not saying that we're going to boycott necessarily, but it just feels like we last saw him against Dustin Poirier. He broke his ankle. We've been talking about and promised to come back for years now. It will feel very, I don't know, for lack of a better word, anticlimactic if it ends like this,
It'll feel the end of his MMA career, I think, if he boxes next, honestly.
I mean, maybe he's just going to go down that path, and if it's just like
I know,
these
but
types
for
of
all
fights.
the activity, like you're boxing now, you're getting whatever reported amount of millions you're getting. There's no way. I honestly don't believe. I don't know if he'll fight again as it is, but if he goes boxing, absolutely not.
Yeah,
like you were in that world then,
Mikey T. Sky Nicholson proclaimed on the DAZN card during the Shauna Brown fight last night that she wanted to fight one more time before fighting for Undisputed. She wants Amanda Serrano next, but said she would take anyone they put in front of her. What is the likelihood that she gets the Serrano fight in 25? I mean, I think they're going to try to do Serrano versus Katie Taylor, and then who knows what happened to Serrano then. I did see Eddie Hearn say on the same broadcast, shout out to Charlie Parsons making his hosting debut. I thought he did a great job along with Sky, and Eddie was up there, and he said that Tiara Brown looks to be the next opponent for Sky, and they're looking to do it in March in Australia. And it seems like that's the move. Ade brought up a great one yesterday, Alicia Baumgartner. If it's not Serrano and it's not Katie Taylor for her, it would be Alicia Baumgartner, in my opinion, as far as like the biggest fight and the most interesting fight. But she's making big leaps, and she was, in my opinion, the runner-up for Female Boxer of the Year behind Gabrielle Fundora, who won 3 fights, as did Sky, but she became the youngest undisputed champion of all time. So Fundora wins, but Sky had a great year and took a big step, if you ask me. Ariel, what is your favorite WWE, WWF, and WCW belts? The Winged Eagle WWF belt from like the Bret Hart era is a favorite of mine. The old school IC title is a favorite of mine. The hardcore title was cool because it was just so unique. Didn't have the prestige, of course. Never was a huge fan of the WCW title / the World Heavyweight title. Old school tag team titles, liked them much better than the current ones. Never really loved the US title. Yeah, I would say the Winged Eagle, WWF, the IC, the tag titles, because it reminds me of the Hart Foundation and the hardcore belt. Agent Spooky, do you have any insight on what Joe Rogan recently said about John Jones? He says Jones is asking for $30 million and he thinks the UFC is going to give it to him. I mean, Jones was asking for big bucks when, he was trying to fight Francis Ngannou, or that was in the works. Do I know if it's exactly 30? No. Am I surprised by that number? No. If you compare what the top heavyweights are getting in boxing, that's actually quite cheap, to be honest. And I think the UFC if the UFC paid John Jones 30 and they pay Tom Aspinall 5, let's just say, they're still going to make a massive profit off this fight. From the gate to the pay-per-view to everything involved. They're still going to make a massive profit. So there's nothing really to worry about there. It would be a big number. It wouldn't be the biggest number. Conor has made more. Khabib has made a lot of money as well. I don't know if it's quite 30, but I know the boys in the back are going to talk about that more tomorrow. And Kevin Lee alluded to it during our interview yesterday. Not a lot of guys are in that ballpark. A lot of boxers are in that ballpark who are way less accomplished than John Jones. John deserves, in my opinion, more than 30 for this fight and for everything he's done in his career. Does he get it? I don't know. Should he get it? Yes. Should I keep going, or do we have our next guest queued up? Okay. Hi, Ariel and crew. As we're all aware, John Jones will likely face Aspinall next. What isn't clear is if it will be his last fight. In the perfect world, who would you guys want Jones to fight as his last opponent before retiring? To me, so he's giving us 3 options: Aspinall, Pereira, and Ngannou other. Golly. Can I get Aspinall and Ngannou and then Pereira? Can I get that? No chance that happens. 0 chance that happens. But I would love to see it. In that order. Shay, Ola Ariel from London by way of Derry, Ireland. Quick fire. Jones, 3-pointer attempt was worse than Conor McGregor's first pitch attempt. No. Conor's went way off. Jones was bad. His form was horrendous. But Conor's was worse in my opinion. Paul Hughes will fight in the UFC one day. Yes. True. Okay, so I screwed up both. True. Poirier will get his last dance in Louisiana. I'll say true. Either one of Bilal or Patty return to the show. I'll say true. Patty would be a return. Bilal would be a debut. Tom Aspinall overtakes Stipe as the best heavyweight of all time. True. Forrest win a major title again. True. Forrest, our magic, all the pitch. Frank actually had somewhere to be during the Christmas party. Absolutely, positively false.
I believe you, Frank.
That's fucking bullshit. God bless. God bless. Some great questions today. We got through 19 of them. Perhaps we can squeeze in a couple on the back end. For now, though, very, very excited to say hello to our first guest of the day, an absolute phenom. Just yesterday, as we were handing out our hardware for our boxing awards, our first annual boxing awards, he was the easiest choice of them all. He is my 2024 prospect of the year. He could be your breakout fighter of the year. By the end of 2025, he may in fact be the male fighter of the year. He continues to impress. He continues to inspire and leave us with our mouths open in awe of what he is doing at just 20 years young. He just turned 20, by the way, at the very end of December. So he's doing all of this as a teenager. He just turned 20, 11-0, knocking everyone out. And we're talking about him in some big fights and potentially being the man to break Mike Tyson's record of being the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. Of course, I'm talking about the pride of England, the one and only Moses Itauma, kind enough to join us. Is he there? There he is, with a bit of a haircut. Hello, Moses. You got a haircut.
I had to shave it off. I got bored of the hair.
Oh, my gosh. When did this happen?
Literally straight after my fight. As soon as I landed from Saudi, I went to a barber shop, got rid of the hair, and then flew out to Slovakia to spend Christmas with my family.
I love it. By the way, happy birthday, happy holidays. You mentioned Slovakia. You're born in Slovakia, right?
Yeah, I was born there. I lived there till 2008, and then we moved. Me and my family moved to the UK, Chatham.
Why did you move?
There's a lot of reasons why, and I think the main reason was opportunities. Like, if I was as good as a boxer as I am, but if I was in Slovakia, I wouldn't be here right now.
Did you ever play hockey as a kid?
So no, I think that's a national sport in Slovakia. If I'll be honest, I didn't play hockey.
You didn't.
Never played that.
What is life like as a kid growing up in Slovakia?
I think they're very tough on the school. I don't really know. I wasn't a kid growing up there. Obviously, I moved in England to 2008. So when I was there, I was only like 3-4 years old. I don't remember that.
You know what's crazy about this, man? You said 2008, and I'm like, oh, he was probably I forget that you're 20. I forget that you're freaking 20. So when I think 2008, I'm like, oh, he was 14. Yeah, you're right.
No.
You were young. You probably don't remember much, right? If anything.
No, I don't remember too much from Slovakia. I mean, my brother's got a lot more memory of it. My eldest brother, he was 7 when he moved out of Slovakia, and my mum just thought it'd be a wise idea to chuck him in an English school, and he was just there, 7 years old, in like year 2 or something, and just did not have a clue what's going on. But obviously, as with me, I never really had to learn another language.
Sure.
I just picked up both of the languages, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm fascinated by this, Moses, because all those things I said about you, you've heard this. Everyone's talking about you being a phenom, and there's a lot of lofty expectations being put on your shoulders. But you are so young, and I told this story yesterday. May of 2023, I go to Ireland to cover the Katie Taylor-Chantel Cameron fight, the first one. And I get in the cab, and the cab driver asks me why I'm there for the boxing, and he doesn't want to talk about that fight. He says, do you know the name Moses Itauma? That is the future. That man is the future. Now, young man, that's May of 2023. You had just started your pro career. You were like 5 months into your pro career. And so then hearing more and talking to more people, everyone's putting these, you're the next guy. You're after Tyson and AJ and all these dudes go away, it's all on you. How does a young man deal with all of that? You're just a teenager. How are you so grounded? How are you so humble and down to earth when the entire world is putting these expectations on your shoulders?
Like, I don't really look at it like other people's expectations. Haven't got anything to do with me. Like, I know my skills, I know my ability, and I just gotta go showcase it. And obviously, I get asked this question a lot, but I don't really know how to answer it. I guess I don't really listen to other people either applauding me or talking smack. Like, I kind of got a job to do, and I do it.
You don't read the comments. You don't listen to the pundits and all that stuff. You're able to block that out.
I mean, I get told.
Yeah.
In interviews, that's it. I don't really. And when I watch the fight back and people are talking, obviously, I listen to that. But to be fair, I don't even have Instagram or any of that stuff on my phone anyway. So
wow,
I don't really get to see it.
Did you ever have it and take it away?
Yeah, I did. But it just got too much. It just got too much. So I took it all off anyway. But it's not anything special. It was too many people, too much attention. I don't know why. I just prefer to be,
Yeah. But you understand that in its own right is very mature of you. Most teenagers don't have the the willpower to get rid of that stuff. Did someone say to you it would be in your best interest to do this, or did you make those decisions on your own?
No, do you know, I was constantly on my phone, and then I was just like, I'm in a restaurant with my whole family and everyone. I'm on Instagram, whatever. So I was just like, yeah, this has got too much. So I just deleted it, and I literally just came back from Marrakesh yesterday, and I spent 4 days there. And obviously, being off social media while I was out there made me actually enjoy being in the moment. So I was like, when I came back to England, I downloaded Instagram again, and then I was on it for about like an hour, and no, not an hour, maybe like half hour or something like that. And then there was just all them opinions, all them voices. I just got sick of it, so I deleted it again.
Good man. I love that. Good man. Could I ask, this journey, how did it all start? Who introduced you to boxing?
So where I'm from, Chatham, there's a school called Greenacre Academy, and that's the school that me and my brothers went to. And Carol was in a class. Who's my older brother? My older brother was in a class with 2 boxers or 3 boxers, and they were talking about boxing, and he wanted to get involved in the talks, and he joined the gym, and then about 2-3 months later, I think he had his first fight. Then a couple months after that, won his first national title. And then he said, why don't you do this? And obviously I wasn't doing much. So I said, all right, cool. I strolled by the gym. My first couple of sessions, I was sick. I threw up. I didn't like it. So I quit. And then I went into playing football. And then I just got bored of football. So I went back into boxing. And now look, I'm sitting here, you know.
Yeah.
As all the stuff that I won as an amateur and a professional, and we're nowhere near even the middle.
And did your brother stick with it?
Yeah. My brother's had, I think it's 12 professional fights. Yeah, he took a year outside the boxing, but he's back. He's got his new fight is March the 1st in Bournemouth. So yeah, he's rolling the dice again. He's just had a little boy, so he took some time out.
Okay. When did you start to really feel like this could be a career, that you had a special gift? How soon into that, training journey did you start to realize, like, oh wow, this is what they're saying about me is different?
It's after I sparred Lawrence Okoli. My trainer at the time, he messaged me saying that what you've done today was crazy, unbelievable. If you stick at it, you can be one of the greatest boxers to live, heavyweight, sorry. And then I was like, okay, I'm not bad, but at this point, I'm a 2-time European gold medalist, 2-time national champion, but I still didn't think I was like, anything crazy. And then when I just went around the gyms and started sparring, obviously, Joshua, Dubois, Parker, Joe Joyce, I was like, okay, I'm actually all right. So, and I'm here.
When you were younger and in the ring with those guys, sparring them, did you find yourself getting nervous?
No, not really. Like I've been boxing since I was 9 years old, so it's like more than half my life. And like when I get in the ring with these guys, it's like they're in the same boat. Like, it's nothing too crazy. You just gotta hit them more times they hit you. So, I mean, I got a good team behind me, so I just put my trust in them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Trying out for the Olympics, that wasn't a part of the plan.
Say that again.
To try to represent Team GB or even maybe Team Slovakia in the Olympic Games, was that a part of your plans?
I was always going to try represent Team GB, but if I'll be honest, when I had my last amateur fight, I was like, I don't know if the amateurs is too much for me. I was just like, I need to spice it up a little bit, and honestly, I think I made the right decision, because I think if I had gone to the Olympics and then I turned professional, and let's say I had my first fight, I don't know, like last month or so or 2 months ago, I would be in a worse position than I am now. Like I got to a box on the biggest cards, on the biggest stages, to spar the likes of Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury, and all these guys, and obviously earn a few quid. I mean, I can't really complain.
Yeah.
I think if I had gone to the Olympics, I wouldn't have had what I got now. Obviously, I got the backing of Nike as well. I got a good team around me. I'm promoted by Frank Warren. Like I said, I've boxed out on the Riyadh cards 3 times now, so I can't really complain.
Why did you choose Frank Warren and the Queensberry team?
Because I think if you was to talk about who looks after a fighter the best, I believe Frank Warren. I think Frank Warren done that. So, yeah, I think if you're going for the long-term game, I thought Queensberry was going to be the best, and I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm happy.
Yeah, and of course, you're managed also by his son, Francis, right? So it all makes sense. Yeah, sorry.
It makes it easier as well, because obviously where they have the father and son relationship,
yeah,
I'm always the first. I'm always like, if there's a big show on, he's because obviously he's got that relationship, he can just easily like obviously sway if other managers was to go and propose a fight to him. But he also works hard, like obviously on the commercial stuff, getting me fights and sparring and etc. So like I said, I've got a good team around me and I'm happy.
One of my favorite people in the boxing game, and I think one of the best trainers, is Ben Davison, and you've been working with him as well. How did that link up happen?
With Ben, I left my old trainers, and I was looking around. I was looking around for a new trainer, and I tried out a lot of trainers that are on the scene now, and Ben Davison was actually the last trainer I was trialing out. And then I remember when I walked through the doors, he had like 2 pages worth of things that I do right and what I do wrong. And then I was like, okay, like I like this. And then obviously we started training, and then I just feel like everything that he was saying was a bit too much. And then he showed me a video of me actually doing stuff in the fights, that what he was talking about. And then I was like, okay, I get it. And he was like, we know that you do this, but we need to make you aware that you're doing this.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, like I like this. So, I think we got a good team, like I said.
You mentioned you have the backing of Nike as well. One of my producers is a hardcore merch guy. He loves all the fight wear and stuff. He actually has a question for you. Connor, why don't you ask Moses your question? You asked me, but I want you to ask him.
Moses, big fan, man. I got to know, where can I get one of these Nike techs? The Team Itauma Nike tech. We got a picture of it.
Where is it? Let me see this picture. Look at it. Look at this.
Where can I get one of these
Look
things,
at that.
man? It's
Look at
incredible.
Ben. Where can we get this? Where can we get this, Moses?
Do you know what? I don't know.
What?
We've been asked this question so many times. I think me and the team got to sit down and have a talk, because you are not the first one asking these questions.
I mean, they're incredible. You got to start selling them, man.
Say that again?
I said they're incredible. You got to start selling them.
I mean, we'll see.
The Nike is clean.
They are nice tracksuits, though.
They're splendid. In fact, I thought when you were kind of going like this, I thought you would be like, you know what? I'll put in a word. I'll ship a few to the studio for you guys for the support. And what do you hit us with? You hit us with you don't know? You don't know how to get them? What are they, 101?
No, it's not that. It's just not that easy. It's not that easy. I mean, we got to sit down. We got to sit down with the team, because, like I said, a lot of people have been asking about these, so we got to sit down with the team.
What about December 21st, right before your birthday? You're in Riyadh, massive card, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. You starch Dempsey McKeon, and you act like it's a walk in the park. And I saw an interview that you did afterwards. Here are the highlights. People thought this would be the big step up. I mean, you hardly broke a sweat, if in fact you broke a sweat at all. And afterwards you said, like, I couldn't even celebrate. I wasn't even that happy about it because everyone was telling me I was going to walk through the sky. Can you explain that mindset?
I mean, I did say before the fight, I was like, if I know myself and if I know who I am, I should be able to breeze through Dempsey. So, I mean, that's what happened, really. It is no shock to me, really. Like I said, I did say beforehand, and then obviously I went out there and done it. I just confirmed that I am who I think I am. You know.
And so, who are you right now? Like, the heavyweight division is a fascinating place. I heard some talk of Filip Hrgović. I heard your manager Francis mention Pulev, and you were like, "Nah, let him retire." And so, who are you right now in the pecking order, in your opinion?
Wow, who do I want to fight next?
Well, yeah, that's another way of asking the question. But I just, like you say, you know who you are, and so I'll get to that question in a moment. But when you watch those big dogs who fought in the main event, and perhaps this is a silly question to some, I don't think it's a silly question. Do you look at those guys right now and say, I can hang with them? Maybe it'll take me some time to get there, but I'm ready for those guys, or not yet?
I done the interview this morning, and the interviewer said that I'm getting better with these interviews. Like, I'm coming out my shell more, and I just simply said, when you was interviewing me, I'm not just waffling on here.
No,
it's gonna come back to the point.
I get it.
So when you interviewed me 2 years ago, I just turned professional, and like the questions you was able to ask me were only about my future. And when I talk about my future and what I think I can do, it's just going to sound like I'm bragging. So that's why I felt it was so hard answering questions and answering this, because it's like, it's nothing that I can talk about. It's nothing to talk about that I've already done. It's just what I'm going to do. And obviously, when I talk about what I'm going to do, it just sounds like I'm bragging. So with your question, it's like, what do I see myself? I see myself as the best in the world. But that's going to sound like I'm bragging, but I know who I am. And in 2 years' time, you're going to be like, okay, cool. Now I see why he's so confident. That's why, like, back then when I was doing the interviews, I was like, why is this kid so confident? And obviously now that I've showed a little bit, you know, people are starting to understand why I've got it.
It makes total sense to me.
In the next 2 years, people are going to see why I am confident.
Have you and your team decided who you want next, who you will fight next?
Like, we've never ever solid on an opponent. Like, even Dempsey McKean, the reason how he came about was we called out like 15 names, and like no one accepted the fight. And then I hear Dempsey was talking about me in the interview, or I got sent an interview where Dempsey was talking about me, and I sent it to my manager, and I was like, right, let's focus on this man here and let's make this fight happen, and then pulled a few strings together, and then the fight happened. Now we're doing the same thing. We're gonna call out a couple of names, and who accept the fights.
Okay, so let's call them out. Who are the names?
I mean, Justice Hooney had a good win today.
Yeah,
he can get it. Pulev. I mean, I personally don't want to fight him because he's old, and you know, but he has won a version of the world title, so I guess he can get it. Hrgović, he's a very, very well ranked contender, which I would probably want his position, so he can get it. I mean, Otto Wallin, if he beats Derek Chisora, he can probably get it. I mean, there's the list is endless. The fights that could be made, the heavyweights, they're good fights.
Yes, and those are names, right? Those are like the guys before the guys at this point, and so you are ready for those names. And so these are the stats for those scoring at home. Mike Tyson won his first world title at 20 years and 145 days old with a second-round KO victory over Trevor Burbeck in November of 1986. I was 4. You were -30. You're currently 20 years old and 11 days, okay, as of today. So to break Tyson's record, Do you know the date? Do you know the date that you have to get a belt? To bring...
May or something, isn't it?
Yeah, May 21st.
That's my brother's birthday.
Man, the stars have aligned. How confident are you that you can make this happen?
I mean, if you was to say how confident am I in beating the heavyweight champions in the world, I'm very confident. But in order for me to achieve it, I need to be put in position to achieve it. And like, if I get the shot, then I'm taking it, and I'm confident that I can do it. It's just whether I get the opportunity. Obviously, boxing now and boxing 30 years ago is different sports.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've got a lot of stuff that you can't control. And like, I mean, my job is to knock people out. And that's what I've been doing. So as far as I know, I'm doing my job correct. And if the world title comes, it comes.
By the way, your mates, like your non-boxing friends, do they gas you up? Do they try to, like, you know, make your head so big? Are they supporting and traveling to your fights, and while you're becoming a world-renowned superstar?
Yeah. Do you know what it is? See, since I turned professional, my circle has just shrunk massively, and there's only a fair few friends that I got left. I mean, I think most of the friends that I got now are just in boxing.
Got it.
So I don't really have too many outside of it now, and I just spend more time with my brothers. And my brothers, they gas me up when I need to be gassed up, and they definitely humble me when I need it as well. So yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you remember that. Of course, you remember what a night it was. It was a hot August night in beautiful Paris, France, and there were a ton of celebrities there. LeBron James was there. I saw him. Kevin Durant, Simone Biles. Everyone was on the streets of Paris. But from afar, 100 yards or so away, I saw the future king of the heavyweight division from afar. And so I made a beeline through all the celebrities, and there you were standing. And I went up to you and I said, "Hello, are you Moses Itauma?" I recognized you. I'm the one who came up to you, right? You had no idea who I was. You were like, "Who's this fanboy asking to take a photo?" But I wanted to say that I took a photo with the future king of the heavyweight division. Do you remember this night? And why were you in Paris? Were you there to check out the boxing?
No, I was actually there to watch the Olympics. I mean, Paris is only a 3-hour drive from where I live, so I mean, I was like, why not? I think I just boxed. I think I beat Marius Wack, and then the next day I brought a car and we drove to Paris. Yeah, and then I think, yeah, you came up to me and I was like, I recognize the face, and then we started speaking, and then obviously you told me your boxing knowledge and whatnot, and I was like, okay. Do you know how I heard about you? I think it was. I used to watch Rampage Jackson.
Come on.
I think he's hilarious.
Yes.
And you used 2 interviews. It was funny, I can't lie. And then obviously I've been following. I do follow a lot of the UFC and yeah, and then obviously kind of kick stuff from there.
Yeah. Are you a UFC fan?
I would say yeah, but only like, I'm not a big UFC fan, but I like certain fighters.
Like who?
I mean, at the minute, I like Hamzat. I like his charisma, like outside of the ring.
Yeah,
I do like his charisma. But obviously, you know, the Rampage Jacksons, the John Jones, the Conor McGregors, the Khabibs, and all them. You know, obviously I love watching. Do you know, I love watching more of their stuff outside the ring as well, you know.
yeah.
The UFC or I like to watch the UFC is embedded in it.
Yeah. They do a great job with that
UFC
stuff.
embedded.
Yeah, they do a great job. So, are you familiar with Tom Aspinall?
I used to love him. Yeah, I used to love him. Yeah, he's from Manchester guy, isn't it?
Yeah. Heavyweight.
Yeah. He's yeah, I heard of him. I haven't watched his fights, but I've heard of him.
Okay. I'm assuming you're going to watch Dubois Parker. Who do you like in that fight?
I think I fancy Dubois.
Okay. And then if he fights Usyk, do you think he has a chance to beat him in the rematch?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, really?
yeah. I mean, like, obviously, Usyk is very good. It's undeniably very good. And obviously, what he's done and what he's achieved, there's only two guys that have done that. You got to take your hat off, but like, he's not indestructible. And like, the bar can bang, so, you know.
Do you think Usyk is around by the time like you get up there? Is that a dream of yours?
I hope so. It'll be nice to. It'll be nice to. It'll be nice to share the ring with Usyk, even if it is sparring. Just to say that I've shared the ring with him. You know,
Yeah.
like I've shared the ring with everyone that's on the scene now. I think the only one I'm really missing is Usyk.
Do you have a dream fight?
No,
No,
not really.
no. A dream fight was once Tyson Fury versus AJ. If they fight this year, who do you like in that one?
The fans.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a political answer right there. Well done. Who's your football club? Who do we support?
I'm Ghana. I'm Arsenal.
You're an Austrian. Oh, that's interesting. Did you happen to see who's tied with Arsenal in second place in the Premier League table? Did you happen to see that it was the Tricky Trees of Nottingham, the Nottingham Forest Cinderella squad? Did you happen to see that?
Do you know what? Yeah, although I'm an Arsenal fan, yeah, I don't really follow football too much.
Of course.
But I went to watch the Arsenal v Newcastle game yesterday, and I remember checking the Premier League table, and I saw Nottingham Forest. I'm like, what? I said, what are they doing up here?
They're the Moses Itauma of the Premier League. They're shocking everyone. The young guns just coming through and taking all the old guys out.
I don't know if I should take offense to that.
You know what I'm saying. They're moving up the ranks at a meteoric speed. But yes, I understand what you're saying. Very fun to watch you compete, my friend. And I'm wondering, before I let you go, when do you think we'll see you again? Any inclination? Any talks?
Mid-March. Mid-March is what I've been told.
In the UK?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Which part?
Liverpool.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, you're allowed. No one's watching. It doesn't matter. And who do you think it is? Who do you think it is?
We don't know yet. We literally, just before I jumped on this call, I was talking with my team to see who the next victim is. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
I love the way you phrase that. You're like a stone cold killer. It's unbelievable, and it blows me away how wise you are and how mature you are. It's really fun to watch. So, it seems like you have great people behind you. Keep your head on straight. Don't let. And by the way, can I just say before I let you go, don't let those UK media guys don't let them kick you. All right, because I see the way they treat some of the other sports stars over in the UK, and I don't like it. They disrespect you guys. They take you guys for granted. And so if you ever want a fair shake, you come to us over here. Don't listen to those guys. You know what I'm talking about. We'll treat you right over here. We'll treat you with respect and professionalism, okay? So keep doing your thing. You'll break those records, and I'm looking forward to that rise. And we'll always have that night in Paris, Moses. You and I will always have that night, that chat that we had on the streets. Oh, there it is again. What a time it was. What a time it was. But I do like the short hair, by the way. I do think it suits you well.
Thank you, but I'm not going to do it again. So, you know what's funny? I've always wanted to go short, and I was like, I didn't want to go short because I was doing interviews, I was boxing and whatever. And then obviously after my fight, I was like, okay, cool, I'm not going to box for a couple months. Now it's the time to do it. So obviously when I cut it off, I was like, okay, I don't really like it, but I'm not doing interviews. And then I get told, right, you're doing interviews next week. I'm like, I just shaved all my hair, but it is what it is.
Nah, it's fine. You look great, my man.
Too much,
You got the whole world in your hand.
It's all right.
Enjoy it all. Well done. Congrats on the recent win, and looking forward to a massive 2025 from you and the team. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We'll have you on again soon, hopefully. There he is, the great Moses Itauma, an absolute superstar. If you're unfamiliar, get familiar, because you are going to be hearing this name for many, many years to come. The stats are as follows. The 28th of December, he turned 20 years young. Born in 2004. He said that he moved in 2008. I was like, oh, wait, 2008. You must be 12. No, he was born 4 years before Tyson Fury's pro debut in 2008, just to put it in perspective. Current WBO Intercontinental and WBA International Heavyweight Champion, 7 career first-round knockouts, including that recent one over Dempsey McKeon, went 4-0 in the year 2024 as a 19-year-old. And, of course, was on that Riyadh card, was a part of a couple of the Riyadh cards, and made his debut less than 2 years ago, January 28th, 2023. He's got about 5 months before he can actually break that Mike Tyson record, maybe a little less than 5 months. Let's see if he does it, but it really doesn't matter. As he mentioned, the boxing business is different. If he can get a win over a Hrgovic in the year 2025, Otto Wallin, those types of names, golly, he is well on his way. Don't know if he gets to the likes of Usyk, Fury, Joshua, whatever, Dubois, Parker, but they may be pretty much done by the time he gets up. Maybe not Dubois. Point is, that's the new face of UK heavyweight boxing. He will carry the mantle, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. All right, great stuff from Big Moses. At 3:30, we're going to be joined by another super prospect, if you will, Payton Talbott. Matt Hamill going to join us on the back end of that final interview of the day. For now, though, let us talk to a man who had a phenomenal 2024. His organization had a phenomenal 2024 as well, and they are primed to have a massive 2025. Let us talk to the founder, the face, the man, El Presidente of BKFC. Huge show coming up on the 25th of January in Philadelphia. Is he here? Dave Feldman. Come on in, my friend. Great to see you.
How you doing?
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
It's a pleasure. Oh, you brought some gifts.
A little swag.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Very kind of you. And is this the first time?
Yeah.
It's the
First time in studio.
First time in
Absolutely.
studio.
First time I ever met you.
Amazing, amazing. I think they have your chair a little bit low. Do you want to raise it up there? I don't want you to look.
Sure.
And we get the lighting on Dave. There it is. That's a little better. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. Look at you. You're fit, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. You obviously
Gotta
former
stay
boxer
fit.
as well.
Former boxer.
Thank you so much for coming in.
I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on a big 2024.
Thank you.
Obviously, we talked a couple of times, and a massive 2025 to come. We're, if my math is correct, 17 days away from Philly, Wells Fargo. Now, this is incredible to me because this is the Wells Fargo Center, home of the Flyers and the Sixers. Matchroom had 2 cards there over the past 6 months. Boots Ennis, right? Philly boy. UFC had a show there, UFC 101. They had a fight night. As things currently stand, you're going to blow them out of the water as far as tickets sold, gate, all that, right?
Yeah, we will definitely 100% break the attendance record there. The gate looks like we're going to blow them out of the water there as well. It's fantastic. Philly is a tough city, so you don't know whether they're going to support you or they're not. And they came out. I mean, we're almost 13,000 tickets now. We're pacing for 17,800 tickets to completely sell out. Phenomenal start for the year for us.
And you've had to open up sections, right? Like perhaps initially you didn't think it would do this well?
We set it up for about 13,000 initially. We just added 2,000 and then another 2,000. So we're at 17,000 set up now. And if we get to where we think we're going to go, we're going to open up the remaining 800 and have a packed house.
And what do you think the gate will be, if you don't mind me asking?
It looks like the gate's going to be a little over 2 million.
Wow. Would that be your highest gate ever?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
And so do you think this is because of Eddie Alvarez, who's Philly's son, right? Do you think this is because of the growth of BKFC? What do you attribute this incredible success to?
I think it's because it's our home city, because it's Eddie Alvarez and our home city together, because a lot of people really, supported BKFC, but they didn't get a chance to watch it live. We have a pretty big following back home, me, my brother, a lot of guys are on the team. We know a lot of people back there, and everybody was very excited about it. And first day of ticket sales, I think we did a little over 3,000 on the opening day. So I was like, wow, man, what a great start. And they just came out, and the tickets are flying now. It's really humbling, it's beautiful, and it's unbelievable for us, and I love it.
Do you live in Philadelphia?
I do, right outside of Philadelphia.
So when you say it's home, it's a home game, but this will be your first event in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the previous head of the commission wasn't a big fan.
No.
Now there's a new head of the commission for Pennsylvania, and that's what opened the door.
Yeah, Ed Kunkel is the new guy. Greg Serb was the past guy. He just said no for nine times in a row. And then as soon as Ed Kunkel opened it up, literally got a date, have a great event here, Knuckle Mania, and it's going to sell. It's going to break the combat sports record at the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, that's pretty
incredible.
Pretty great way to start off the year.
That must feel like validation, right?
It's
the old guard.
And it's funny because the old commissioner is actually working the event. He's going to be working the event.
In what capacity?
He's doing something to be an assistant with him, and
oh wow,
he just wanted to come, and he said he didn't think I wanted him to come, and I said, no, I definitely want you to come. I want you to come, and I want you to look around the arena and see what you missed for all these years.
Yeah, you know, I hear these stories, and it's so familiar to the UFC days when they were trying to get MMA legalized, right? It's the exact same thing, old guard, and then new blood comes in, and that opens the door, and then you get in, and you're validated, right?
Absolutely.
It's the exact. We're seeing the same story play out.
I mean, look, we've been in business for 6 years now. It took us, I'd say, 4.5 years to get a little bit of respect. And now people really are starting to respect the product, the process, the platform, the fighters, and everything else about it. The growth that we're having, you can't deny numbers, right? And the numbers are going through the roof.
You recently did the deal with DAZN. Why did you pick DAZN? And are you happy with the deal as it stands right now?
DAZN is a great partner for us, and we picked DAZN specifically because they had a huge boxing crowd. And we had always a big MMA following.
Yeah.
So it was time for us to really reach over into the boxing crowd and get the boxing following to attach with the MMA following, and the numbers are really doing very, very well on DAZN. They're very happy, and we're very happy.
Why do you think that is? Why does it seem like MMA media, MMA fighters, like why does it seem like you guys are treated more like an MMA promotion, right, by proxy as opposed to boxing, when in reality you're more like a boxing promotion than an MMA promotion?
I think just because we started off with a lot of MMA fighters,
okay,
right? And the MMA fan base was there, and that's who attached to us first. Now we're getting a lot of interest from boxing, and it's pretty crazy right now.
What about the media, and not just like the actual like MMA/boxing media? I'm sure. You know, you have a great media team behind you. Bernie's the man. I love Bernie, your PR guy, among your others as well. When people are starting to pitch you guys to get, you know, some mainstream media, if you will, non-fight media, are you getting a lot of pushback? Because I remember those stories from Dana as well, how no one wanted to cover them, how the New York Times would look away.
We were, but we just had a Forbes piece last week. We got some pretty good stuff coming up too, as well. A lot of documentaries that are interested in doing some things with us now. So I think the tide has certainly changed. It took a long time. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of just pushing in people's faces, and here we are.
Is it surreal to be living in the moment that you probably dreamed of? Like, man, if only I could get the respect here. If only if we could get in the door here. If only we could get a deal like a DAZN deal here. And now you're actually living it. Do you find that surreal? Is that hard to process?
It's definitely hard to process. It's something that a lot of times I look at and I go, man, this is so hard, because this is not easy. I don't wish this on anybody. Like, you have to have thick skin, and you have to really have a goal and know exactly what you want to be able to do something like this. This is not easy. The no's, the not finding the money, the everybody trying to, you know, shut you down and do different things to kind of sabotage what you're doing. So you have to be a special type of person to do this, and it's hard to live in the moment. But I know on January 25th, I'm going to be inside the Wells Fargo Center, where I saw the Sixers play, the Flyers play, concerts. I was at a Drake concert with my daughter and my wife about almost a year ago. And I just looked around and I said, babe, I'm going to sell this place out.
Wow.
She was like, I know you are, honey. And I was like, here we are. Like, we weren't legal then.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we're selling out the Wells Fargo Center. It's really a feather in our hat. And to all the hard work that our team put in, it's really unbelievable for us, man. I'm so happy about this one. This one is the best moment in our career.
It's great to see, and I could feel it. When you say sabotage, like people were sabotaged, what do you mean by that?
You know, they'll call commissions. They'll say, don't allow this kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they'll call venues.
Who's doing this?
Different promotions.
Really?
Different regulators. Like, some regulators that didn't want us in the past, they would call other regulators and say, don't regulate it. Don't regulate them, or I'm not going to let you in this state. If, you know, different things like that just went on a lot. Like, at the beginning, it was really, really bad. It was bad. Like, if you referee, like a couple of referees, if you ref for them, you'll never ref in our state again. And
wow,
a couple of our referees were like, well, I'm reffing with them. You know, loyalty is a hard thing to come by, and a couple of our guys are very, very loyal.
And so at this juncture, how many states are you legal in?
So I would rather reverse that and say we're only not legal in 2 that we're trying to get into right now.
Interesting.
So there's not a lot there's a couple more that we're not really trying to get into. Why? We're not going to do a show there right now. And I don't want to make them go through the whole process, do all the work, and then we can't even do a show there. So there's only 2 really right now that we're not legal in that, hopefully in the next year we're there. And that's Nevada and New York.
Okay. All right. Those are some big dogs. Yep. How confident are you that you can get those done in the next year?
I mean, numbers, I think numbers tell the story. And when we do what we're going to do January 25th, and what we've done for 6 years and just pushing the envelope and doing these great shows and getting great numbers on viewership and creating tax revenue for the state, it's going to be hard for them to say no.
And so, okay, so could I just ask, just for the record,
Sure.
how many are you actually legal in at this point?
I think we're actually legal and approved in 32.
Okay, which is very significant. That wasn't the case, just a couple of years ago, right?
Not at all.
And so I remember when the UFC hired Mark Ratner, former Nevada State Athletic Commissioner, to come on. That was a huge move, and maybe not a move that like the casual fan would understand how big it is, but he helped them get into all these states, right? Given his relationships and his knowledge. Do you have your version of Ratner doing this?
We got kind of 2 guys that are really helping us. One is Adam Rohrbach. He's the former athletic commissioner of the Kansas State Athletic Commission. And Sean Wheelock, who is obviously commentary, but he was also, I think, the director of the MMA Rules and Regulations Committee for the ABC. So he knew a lot of commissioners, and they're both really pushing it for us, and we're getting great reception.
Okay. You mentioned...
Last year, just so you know, last year we actually got approved by the, we have, what's it called? Bare knuckle, I think it's unified bare knuckle rules with the Association of Boxing Commissioners now. So now, if a new state wants to come in and regulate us, it's easy for them to because they have a guideline now.
Okay, and who put together those rules?
Sean Wheelock.
Sean Wheelock. Yeah. Okay, wow. I got to work with Sean at the Tyson Paul fight, and that was a great experience for the first time. You mentioned loyalty, and I heard you did an interview recently with MMA Fighting, and you were asked about Conor McGregor, who's been a big part of your 2024. Sure. And quite frankly, I thought your answer was a great one, and not because it was like some PR answer, but it seemed like it came from the heart. And you were asked about Conor's, the end of the year for him, obviously troublesome and a very difficult one with the civil trial and whatnot. And so what you were saying was essentially, I'm a loyal guy, and where I come from, you don't just drop someone in their lowest moment. You stick with them because he has stuck with us.
Sure.
Is that a fair summation of how you feel?
Look, whatever may have happened and whatever the accusations was, I'm not getting involved with that. What I'm getting involved in is a guy that was with us, our partner, our friend, was kicked when he was down, and we're not going to kick him when he was down. We're going to help lift him back up, and that's what we're trying to do, because I believe that if you're with somebody 100 times. My dad has a saying that you can't be 99% loyal. You're either 100% or get out of here. You can't be with someone 99 times, and the 100th time it goes wrong, you turn your back on them. You're with them all the time. So if we're with them, we're taking the ride with them, and we're going all the way with them.
Did you get any sort of pushback? Did anyone try to convince you otherwise?
Some sponsors push back a little bit, but I mean, when I explain it to them the way that I'm explaining it to you now, they kind of held on to it, and they understood what I was saying.
Okay. How could I ask? I mean, you could feel free to say, take a hike. What percentage of the company does he own?
Take a hike.
Take a hike. Okay. Is that the fair?
He does own a fairly significant amount of the company. He really does. I mean, not, he's a decent sized owner. He has a good stake in this company. So for him to make this company grow, it would be very, very worthwhile for him.
Yeah, and you could see it. Did you think he would be this into it? No. Like his whole Twitter feed is bare knuckle stuff.
No, man, it's crazy, man. Yes. It's really unbelievable the way what he's doing. It's fantastic. I thought that he was going to be into this, but I thought he was. So we have a guideline of what he has to do.
Got it.
And he's over-delivered 100 times.
Right.
Maybe 1,000 times. He really over-delivered. I mean, he's unbelievable partner, unbelievable guy for us to be with, unbelievable guy for the brand, and we'll see what happens with his fighting career, and hopefully one day he takes the gloves off.
Yeah. And so the breakdown right now, do you still own a piece of the company?
Yeah, of course.
He owns a piece?
Yeah.
Is Triller still involved?
Triller is.
They are still involved.
Yes.
Are they not going to be involved? What's the status of the relationship with Triller?
I think that everything is going to work out with Triller.
Okay.
They have a new guy that's in charge of everything there. They have a lot of money coming in, and I'm actually going to Thailand Taiwan on Tuesday to meet with the owner of the parent company.
Oh, wow.
And I think we're going to be funded to really take this thing off.
Wow. Are there any other players involved as far as ownership, investment?
Yeah, actually, Fubo TV.
Oh, really?
They own a small percentage of us, and then there's some private investors.
Okay. All right. So you're in a good spot financially. In fact, you're predicting that you will be in the black this year, right?
Yes.
Wow. First time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
How does that feel?
Well, it feels like the first event, we did all these views. Everybody was watching us. We were trending #1 on Twitter, and I was like, man, we must have made a lot of money, and found out a lot about piracy that night.
Yeah.
And we got robbed, but I was still, we had millions of people watching, and I was like, man, because at first I projected profitability on fight #1.
Wow.
Didn't happen, but to project profitability right at the end of 2025 and into 2026, it explodes.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially if we get these media deals that we're talking with now, some bigger media deals on some of the things that we're working on.
And so when you say media deals, would that be in addition to the DAZN deal here in North America?
Yes, absolutely. But it could also be with DAZN. So
interesting.
We're some other media companies are talking to us now, but we love the relationship with DAZN. We're going to go back to them and see.
But you just did the DAZN deal, right? Wasn't it in September it was announced?
It was September, yeah.
Yeah. So was it a 4-month deal? Like, how can you be in talks with more media to split up the deal?
Well, there's a certain amount of fights that we're doing, right?
Got it. Okay.
And there's also the big tournament that we're probably going to talk about that we're doing, and that's what we're looking at for a big media partner for that one.
Okay. With the DAZN deal, is there any pay-per-view? Like the 25th, is that pay-per-view?
It's not pay-per-view. We were going to do it on pay-per-view, but we're not. But we have 2 pay-per-views a year with DAZN, minimum of 2.
I thought maybe a Knucklemania, which we're looking at the poster right here, would be pay-per-view worthy. Why did you not go that route?
I just wanted to get more viewership on the DAZN for the product.
Yeah,
that's really what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I thought it's more important for us right now to have more eyeballs than to have more revenue.
Yeah, it makes total sense, especially as you say with piracy and whatnot.
Yeah.
You might as well.
It's hard to control it now.
Yes,
it really is.
Okay, and so what about this tournament? You announced recently a $25 million tournament, and is this accurate? You're having this idea, and then you do an interview and you kind of throw it out there before it's all kind of set in stone.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, 25 million, here we go.
So we talked about it during the day, and it was 10 million, and I was like, it's just not enough. And I mean, it's a
pretty
lot
big
of
number.
It's a lot of money, but when you spread it around the right way, it's just not enough. 25 was the number, and I live like you jump off a building and you build a parachute on the way down. You just figure it out. And I did that interview. I think it was with Sirius, and they asked me, what do you have planned for 2025? And I said, we're going to launch this $25 million fight tournament. And they're like, $25 million fight tournament? And I'm like, man, I just said that. I really just said that. But we figured it out.
So is it a done deal?
It's a done deal. We're funded on it.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so what is it?
Everybody called. Everybody called after that event. Investors. Crazy.
What is the breakdown? What is the tournament?
So it's going to be, we're going to do 4 major tryouts around the world. We're going to do one in the United States, one in Spain, I believe one in Australia, and one in the Middle East. And then we're going to do these qualifying rounds. It's going to be a total of 10 events.
Okay.
Throughout 9 to 10 months. We're scheduling that right now. It's going to start, the first fight's going to be around June. It's going to happen in the United States. It's going to happen in Spain. It's going to happen in the Middle East, Australia, and I forget the 5th country right now. We're working on the final right now. That's right. We had 3 countries bidding on it right now. One of them is an African country. One of them is a European country, and the United States. So we're working on that right now to see where the finals are going to be. But the real money comes down to the final 8. Obviously everybody's getting paid for all their fights leading up to it, but the real money gets broken down in the final 8. The winner will walk away with $15 million.
Wow. Okay, so the first 10 million gets dispersed. How many fighters total, you think?
64.
64. And is it true that the weight classes, like it's a big range, right?
I don't know
what is this,
what
like
it's
open
gonna
weight?
be. So we're doing this. We're doing the we're going to put the call out for the applications next week, actually. When we just whispered it the first time, we got 10,000. We're anticipating about 20,000 real applications. we're putting a fee on it, and we're only putting a fee on it for one reason. We're going to refund it to them, or we're going to give them a grab bag. We're going to do something. We're not trying to make money on it. We just don't want them wasting our time.
Right.
There's going to be so many people coming in on this thing. So we're anticipating 20,000 applications. We're going to narrow it down to 64, and then we're going to do all the rounds.
And so like it.
So the weight.
Yeah.
The weight, it could be a lighter weight, which would be around 135 to 165. But
that's a big gap.
Yeah, it is.
So like, could it be that a 35er fights a 65er?
At the end only.
Okay.
At the end only.
And
but I'm leaning towards more. I think it's going to be 175 to 275. And the same thing is a 75er could fight a heavyweight in the finals only.
Sure.
Or in the final 8.
Yeah. And that might be an issue with a commission, though, no?
No, I got approval from almost every commission so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I did all my homework on this. I didn't just throw it. I threw everything else out there, but when I knew we were going to talk and everybody was going to ask me questions, I had to have my stuff done. And almost every commission said we can do that, but the same way, let's do it towards the finals.
Got it. And will the big names on your roster be involved, or is this more to find new talent?
I think it's both. It's a combination of both. I couldn't alienate the guys that already fight for me, the guys that built this company. I can't alienate them. But I think we're going to build 8 to 10 to 12 to 24, who knows, new stars out of this thing. And I think that's really the whole purpose of this thing, is to build new stars and create a spectacle. It's a spectacle.
Sure.
And it's the world's baddest man. Who's the world's baddest man? And listen, I know people are going to say, well, you're not grappling, you're not kicking, you're not elbowing. Okay, but you're fighting with bare knuckles, and this is the format that we're doing, and it's going to be the world's baddest man. And I think everybody in the world, not fight fans, everybody would want to know if that guy had the title. Like if you, Ariel, were the world's baddest man, everybody would, yo, that's the world's baddest man. I want to take a picture with the world's baddest man, right? So it's just a cool thing that we're doing, the world's baddest man. 25 million, 5 continents, 8 countries, 10 events, and we're going to cash out on this thing.
And so that could be sold to someone other than DAZN.
It could be, but I'm confident in our partnership with DAZN, and I'm confident they're going to pick it up.
Okay. Now, so like, let's say a Mike Perry, he could be involved if it fits. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, it would be a price reduction for him, a purse reduction for him to fight in the
early rounds,
in the opening rounds. So he's going to have to risk that. But yes.
But then it could pay off on the back end.
It'd really pay off.
Where do things stand with Mike? He was on the show. He seemed unhappy. It seemed like he wanted to fight on this card in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I get it, but we didn't need him, meaning he's a high-priced fighter, and we didn't need that extra purse expense on this one. So we're going to do another one, a big show, the end of March, beginning of April. We're working on it right now, and Mike will be back.
Okay. Do you feel like it was a mistake to take the Jake Paul fight?
He made money, I think. I think he made pretty good money.
Yeah.
I think that he built up this enigma of who he was with bare knuckle, really like the world's baddest man, like the most violent person in the world.
King of violence,
the king
right?
of violence,
yeah.
Right? And to go over to boxing for the payday, at the end of the day, I think it was a mistake. I think it was okay. Look, he made money. It was a different sport. I get it, and some things happened where he announced his own promotion during that fight week, which didn't make us very happy. So we were a little taken back by that, and that's why there's probably been a little pause. But we've talked to his management team, we talked to Mike. He's been out to our events, and he's coming back.
Okay, so did you not know that he was going to announce Dirty Boxing that week?
I did not.
Oh wow. Okay, you would have appreciated the heads up.
Of course.
Do you feel like it's competition?
I don't. I just feel like the part of us allowing the Jake Paul fight to happen was getting promotion that fight week, right? Why else would we do it?
Yeah.
We had nothing to win if we didn't do it that way. We weren't getting paid on it. So if we didn't get the promotion, we didn't have anything to win. But at the end of the day is, people do different things. And Mike is a good person. I like Mike, and he helped build this company. He did, and he's coming back.
When you reach out to him and his team, why didn't you give us the heads up? What was their response?
Oh, we did. But they didn't.
Okay.
Maybe it was going so fast. Maybe they thought that they did.
Yeah.
They didn't. But it's cool, man. Look, they're all good guys. I like them all. But at the end of the day, we just would have appreciated it.
Sure.
That's where the Conor, you're fired thing came from.
Well,
it didn't come from getting beat by Jake Paul at all. It came from that. that's where it came from.
If you go back to the tweets, it seemed like he was annoyed by the dirty boxing stuff, right? And so did you know he was going to tweet that?
No.
Okay.
Do you know anything Connor does?
So how do you clean that up, for lack of a better word?
I mean, at the end of the day, it just wrote its course. And
Okay.
then we had conversations, and it is what it is. It's a fight game, man.
Yeah.
It's so volatile. So many things happen. So many people say things they shouldn't say at the wrong time, or they do the wrong thing. It's the fight game, man. It's not an easy business to be in. There's not a lot of great people in the fight game. There really, truly isn't.
Right. I was on social media, and speaking of tweets and whatnot, and Connor's upset about the post-fight interviews and about some guys not getting the post-fight interviews, and he says that he's going to pull the DAZN deal. Now, I'm reading this, and I like to think that I have a little bit of knowledge of how the fight game works in TV, and my first reaction is, I think BKFC produces the events, not DAZN, so it technically would be your call,
I
not
told him
their.
that.
Okay.
I told him that afterwards, and he pulled it down. Look, again, the thing you love about the guy, he's passionate.
Yeah.
Passionate as hell, but he's dead right. You build the stars when you put the mic in front of their face, right? They have to fight good, but then you put the mic in front of their face.
Sure.
That's how you build them. So that's, I get his point, but at the end of the day, at that venue, we had an early timeout. We had to be out of there by 11. It was a 11 o'clock hard stop, so we didn't have the time on that show. But it's definitely something we need to implement more because we want to hear from the fighters.
Yeah. No, I mean, look at his first fight, 50 Gs, like that put him on the rocket ship, right? And so he knows better than anyone. It's just kind of wild that he's watching, I think it was at the Hard Rock, right? Yeah. And he's that locked in to where he's upset that a guy's not getting a post-fight interview.
I know, like a lot of people, text me and said, look what he said, look what he said, look what he said. And I calmed everything down, but I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. The guy's all over it, right?
Yeah.
He's passionate about it. How often do you get someone that passionate about something? He's very passionate about this, and that's why we love him as a partner.
One of the big challenges I think that you have ahead of you, if I may, is that I think early on, and correct me if you feel otherwise, people are like, all right, this is fun. And we've talked originally, I was like, this is a little, and now I'm a huge fan. And I've said multiple times, if there's one promotion outside of the UFC that I would, invest in, buy stock in, it's you guys. I think what you guys are doing compared to the others, it's not even a question who's on, this trajectory.
Sure.
But there was a lot of these sort of like older guard that was coming over that we knew already. They were established. We're emotionally invested in them. We know Mike Perry. We know MVP. We know Luke Rockhold, Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens, even a Paulie or an Artem, a Page, etc. Now the key is, how do you build your own guys? How do you build your own stars? How does that happen? Because that to me is what's going to differentiate you guys from just like the place where older fighters go to retire, or the place where people say, like, forget all that, I'm starting my career here, right?
Yeah, we're bringing a couple guys over from the WWE. They're going to work with storytelling, with character development. That's a big part of 25 is, but between 25 and 26 is really building our own stars. So I don't think we're going to run into that problem. We have a series called the Prospect Series, then we have the Fight Night, then we have the numbered shows, we have pay-per-view. We have all these different levels that we can build these stars from, and that's really what we're going to do. We're giving them media training. We're doing everything that we can do possibly to make these guys stars. And I think that we're giving them a great platform to become a star. So I do feel very, very confident that by the end of 25, we have some of our own homebred stars. As a matter of fact, we have the highest grossing gate at the Hard Rock Casino ever with only BKFC stars.
Wow.
No outside
The one
stars.
in Hollywood, Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a feather in our hat there as well.
And once, I was just talking to someone about this. I was talking to someone, a longtime fighter who's now more kind of on the back end of his career, about the GFL. And we were talking about the GFL and the PFL and some of these like newer promotions. Right. And I said, all of them haven't learned from history. The one who did it best, other than Dana and Lorenzo and Frank, was Scott Coker, in my opinion, Strikeforce era. Because when you would go to those San Jose shows, the undercard were just a bunch of local guys that no one ever heard of. They sold 80% of the tickets. And then at the top, you'd have some name guys, but those weren't really moving the needle from a gate standpoint. They weren't building the company. Now this show that you have in Philly, to me, is a Strikeforce show. And I say that with great, with great reverence, because it's all local guys that are selling the tickets, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Eddie at the top is a local guy, but a lot of the maybe like lesser known fighters, you have put them on your undercard to help move the needle.
Yep. When you promote, I promoted for a long time. So when you promote these these local shows, you get guys that sell 200-300 tickets, and that's like, wow, that's a home run. I got guys that took 700 tickets, 900 tickets, 1,500 tickets.
That's absurd.
It's crazy. So yes, I think that that's such a recipe to our success. Is we do have a local-ish feel on the undercard of all our shows, and then the main event and some of the fight nights and some of the prospects are also local. And the bigger shows, they don't have to be the local guys because all the undercards selling the tickets for us. And the thing that's so important about BKFC is, and I hope that you're there January 25th because we're going to talk about that. I hope that you're there because when you see it live, although you have become a fan, and we really truly appreciate all the love that you've given us recently. When you see it in person, it's going to 10x.
Yeah,
it's going to 10x, 100%. You see this thing in person, it's game over. There's no other combat sport better than this, meaning more exciting, more fan engaging, keeps your attention the whole entire time than Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
I believe it. My guys back there were like, we need to go. I don't know if I could go, but they want to go. We can talk about that. We get to.
I think you're coming.
I'm
going to put a bet out there that Ariel Helwani will be at January.
We'll see. But you got a bunch of guys back there who really want to come and who love the product as well. We were talking about Philly and where you're from. I have to ask you this question. I've been dying this whole time to ask you this question. I'm almost building up to it. This morning, I'm on my Peloton. I like to do some of my research before the show. And I put your name in YouTube, and I stumble upon a YouTube video that has probably like 600 views. That's it. This is the thumbnail. Do you know this video? Rags to Riches, the incredible story of David Feldman from underground fighting to BKFC by an account called League Alerts, 498 views. This was posted 6 months ago.
Never saw that.
This video. This is a video narrated by a young man. He sounds young, about your story. I'm watching this and I'm like, this is total BS. So the first thing I wanted to do was ask you if you knew of that video.
Yeah.
You've never seen the video. And now I have to ask you, and I'm going to like recap the story for you because I had never heard this before. Okay. So this is me doing a recap version of your upbringing.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know how this young man has this. I think he read it in a book. But basically what he told me was, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, about your upbringing, you have a bit of a troubled relationship with your father. Your parents divorced at a young age.
Right.
Are you okay with me bringing this up? Your parents divorced and your mom has a boyfriend.
Right.
And there's a horrible incident that happens to your mother.
Right.
Is this accurate?
Yes.
I'm watching this video, David. This is like not even out of a movie. Like I can't even believe it. Are you uncomfortable with me bringing this up?
I mean, I'm always uncomfortable, but I'm not. It's my story.
People need to know this.
My story.
Are you okay?
I'm not uncomfortable. I get feelings, right?
Sure.
My mom is
your mother,
my idol, my hero, and everything that she went through. When you're going to get to the story, and I'll tell after that.
I'd almost rather you tell the story, but if you want me to recap it okay, so this is what I gathered.
I didn't
Okay, so I'm watching this and I'm like, this has got to be made up because it's so mind-blowing. In short, your parents divorce, and what I gather from the interview or the video is that your mom is dating a guy who is very abusive towards her. Right. And there's a horrible incident where eventually he injures her to the point where she becomes a paraplegic. Quadriplegic, excuse me. And you do not know who this man is. You cannot find him. You have no sort of intel on him until you're working at a bar and you meet a girl who you eventually ask what her last name is, and it's the same last name as the man who injured
Tucker, yeah.
Yes. And I mean, that alone is absurd. And then she tells you where he lives. You go to his house. You get into an altercation. I apologize for going through so much of it so quickly. And you stop short at maybe shooting him.
Yeah.
And then you clip his Achilles.
Yeah.
Where does this kid even find this information?
I think it was in my Rolling Stone piece.
It's an unbelievable story.
So Ariel, man, my mom got, she got thrown out of a car, run over. The guy took her to a cemetery, banged her head against the cemetery stone, put her back in the car, and dropped her at our house with footprints on her chest, and my mom could never walk again.
I'm so sorry.
It's a rough thing, man. But this is a woman that was a quadriplegic that couldn't move her hands or legs, and I have this painting in my office, and she painted it with a paintbrush in her mouth. And a lot of times I want to quit, right? This is hard. And I look at that and I'm like, man, how can I quit? She went through everything. But it was tough, and I finally, it was something that I got so much childhood trauma from that, man.
I can
It messed
imagine.
my whole life up, right? And
How old are you when this happens?
I was 8.
8 years
It
old.
says 6 in the magazine, but I was 8.
Okay.
And I looked for the guy, and I found him. And one thing led to another, and I said, I did. I clipped his Achilles, and I said, "You'll never walk again." MFer, and that's what he did. Because when I told him who I was, he turned white as a ghost, and I knew it was him. And he was like, and I'm glad I didn't do anything more than that, because I would have been in jail. But things like that happen, and I think that I look back on that, and I think if I had to do it again 10 times, I would have done the same exact thing.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's your mother.
Yep.
And your mother, based on what I learned from this, like, was really, through the tough times with your father, she was your rock, right?
Yeah.
You had an incredible relationship with her.
Absolutely.
Why didn't you move with her when your parents divorced?
She wasn't able to. They actually divorced after she was hurt.
Oh, okay.
So my dad divorced her when she was hurt. I mean, they were separated, but they officially got divorced, and she couldn't take care of us.
Is she still alive?
No.
Okay. When did she pass?
16 years ago.
Okay. And is your father still alive?
No, he passed about 7 years ago.
He was the one that got you into fighting.
Yeah.
He trained you and your
trained
brother.
7 world champions. He was a professional fighter himself, 23-2 with 19 knockouts. Good fighter. Look, my father was a great man. Like, he was great to everybody. It's just me and him didn't have the best relationship. But I mean, a lot of people really love him. They respect him. He was a bad dude, and he gave his shirt off his back to people. But me and him just butted heads.
He was just tough on you, or
Yeah, it was a lot to do with my mom.
Okay. And when you find out that your mom gets injured, are you 8, or do you only find out later? Like, were you in contact with her?
Yeah.
Oh, you were. Okay.
I remember seeing her. It's like the one vision, man. I lost almost all my childhood memories, but I see her going into this. We were in the room, and they did the MRI machine, and then they had her strapped, and they would turn her over, and that's the one memory I have.
Wow.
When she first got injured.
And did she not, like, why did
But listen, I don't want everybody feeling bad for my
No,
This is crazy, but let me tell you a little bit more about my mom. My
Please.
mom's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Crippled, can't do anything. She's taking numbers and she's, like, booking numbers at the nursing home she's in. She's selling them shots of alcohol that she has in the back. She was a hustler, man, like, crippled. I mean, she couldn't move, and she's hustling stuff and making money. And that's where I got my hustle mentality from her and my dad, really. But
Wow.
she was, she never let anything stop her at all. It never stopped her. She was supposed to live 3 years, and she ended up living 30.
Wow. Did she try out for the Special Olympics?
Not Special Olympics, Paralympics.
Paralympics. Yes, of
They
course.
had, yeah.
Yes, of course. Special. Yes. My apologies. What sport?
She was actually it was doing obstacles with the it wasn't a lot of physical stuff, but it was
Okay.
obstacles.
Did she make the team?
No.
Okay, but she, like, this shows her spirit to even
Crazy.
do this.
Yeah.
And to
Then she
paint-
graduated college after she got hurt. She went all over the world. She ended up in Washington State. She met a guy. She married him. He kind of took care of her a little bit. Then they moved back up here to Philadelphia with us, and then she ended up dying. And the story gets worse. Ariel, I found out that he actually put a pillow over her head.
The boyfriend,
The husband.
the husband. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How do you find that out?
Through a little bit through the guy who did the autopsy told me that things weren't right, but he couldn't really rule it a homicide. And then when I saw the guy, I just knew something was wrong. I talked to her that day. She was perfect. She was great. And she died that night. And I know why, because he was just getting tired of taking care of her.
Right.
Like, it was tough. He was getting tired of it. But at the end of the day is, like, that's not what you do. You don't do that. And I just broke his face open right on the street, and I left.
Holy shit. And how old are
Yeah,
you?
man, look,
Dude,
I'm not, if you didn't bring this up, I'm not bringing this up.
No,
'cause
I know.
I don't want sympathy, man. I'm not.
No, but
doing
this
that.
is your story.
It's
And this
my
is, by the way,
story.
this is why people need to root for you.
Yeah, man, and this is why I can never quit. I will never quit, man, because it's so easy to quit.
Right.
It's so hard to keep going. It's so hard to make everything happen, man. And we've been through so many obstacles in this and all the obstacles through my life. Look, it messed me up, man. I'm being honest with you, man. I go to a therapist once or twice a week, every week to this point because I have trauma and I'm trying to fix it. And I think I'm getting a long way with it. And I think I'm really becoming a way better husband, father, person, boss, colleague, everything. But it took work, and nobody wants to do it. And I know a lot of people out there shit on therapy. They're like, oh, you got to be a real, real puss or whatever if you got to go to therapy. But I think when you go to therapy, you don't even understand how hard it is. It's unbelievable. You're bringing everything up. For someone like me, like I've been through a lot. I could really literally write a book, maybe write 2 books, maybe make a movie. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. If BKFC gets to be super successful, maybe even more super successful.
Yeah.
But I think that we got it to a point where nobody thought it would ever be.
100%. 1,000,000%. And yes, I was watching that and I was like, oh, this is like someone just doing like some AI story to make you sound cool because it was so unbelievable. By the way, how old are you when you get the last name of the attacker?
32.
So it took from 8 to 32.
Yeah.
Why didn't your mom rat him out?
I think she lost her memory because she kept saying she didn't know who it was. She didn't know who it was. And then my dad gave us the name, but she kept saying she didn't know who it was.
Wow. And it's the woman that you meet at the bar has the same last name.
Yeah.
How's that possible? Is she a relative?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's like an angel coming.
It was her niece.
It was his niece.
His niece.
Holy shit. What are the chances?
It was crazy because I was married, but I was going through like at the end of my marriage then, my first marriage.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this girl's cute. And I kept seeing her. It was a bar I owned and she kept coming in and then ended up talking to her. And then I found out her last name and then I didn't say anything then. It was a couple more times I saw her. And then I'm like, are you related to this guy? And she's like, yeah. And I said, talked a little more about it. And she's like, yeah. I said, I heard he doesn't live here anymore. Just like that. And she's like, no. He lives right up the street. I'm like, where? And she told me kind of where he lived. And then I looked it up. I had some friends that got me his address.
Fucking hell, man.
Crazy, man.
Crazy.
You never know. But that's what I say. Like, a lot of people will, they'll talk shit on me. They don't know me. They don't know. I got a story. You might have a story. You might have a story. We all got stories, right? You don't know who's going through what in life. And, it's what's their driving force, what makes them keep going, what makes them want to be the biggest thing in the world. I mean, I want to be the biggest and best thing that we can possibly be for that and for all the guys that helped us get here to where we are. I mean, you don't understand how hard this is. You really don't. I know you're on that side of it.
No,
on this side of it, it's death.
Can't imagine.
It's a death fight every day. But
we're
winning.
Fight. That's how you would categorize it.
It's unbelievable.
How close are you to tapping out? Not right now, but just like over this last 7-8 years. Well, you refer to it as death.
5-6 times.
Really?
Out. I quit. I was like, this is
enough
over.
of this shit.
And then the next day, I'm like, what are we doing? We're not doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing this. Look, you have to raise money all the time. You have to keep gas in the tank to keep it going. And at times we ran out of gas and we had to find the gasoline. And we always found it because we got a great product and we got great people with us. And that's, I think, what's really important about it. But I think we're at a point right now, which I actually talked to my main guy. His name's Howard, who really helps me out and helps me raise a lot of my money. And he called me he's like, what's up? Like when he does that to me, he's like, what's up? I'm like, oh man, we got good news. He's like, we're about to break it wide open, buddy boy. We got this. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So he's got some things lined up for us.
Oh wow, I can't imagine how that feels.
I mean, it's all we need. And listen, every business in the world needs money, right? We all need money to grow the business, but we only need money now. We did everything else. We gained acceptance. We broke all the regulatory down. We got everybody to really understand what we're doing. We broke into mainstreamness a little bit, right? We got international. We did everything we had to do now. Now we just need the gas to get to the finish line.
Wow. And the Connor deal, these are all like little steps along the way that you probably never would have imagined, right? When you probably had like you know what I mean? Like, in the next 5 years.
The first thing that really kind of happened was, like this type of experiences. I was sitting at my kitchen table, and I get this FaceTime call from a 305 number, and I didn't know who it was. I hung up, and he texts me. He goes, "Yo, pick up. It's Shaq." Like, Shaq's texting me? I mean, FaceTiming me? And then I got on the phone with him, and he said, "I want to come to the event. I want to talk to you." What a cool guy. But that's where it all started with Shaq, and then he
That's
told
a few years ago, right?
Yeah. That was back in right around the pandemic.
Okay.
And then, you know, we just kept the pedal on the metal, and Conor McGregor came in, Mike Perry came in. Paige Van Zandt was actually a real needle mover for us.
Huge, yeah.
Not because she was the greatest fighter in the world, but she can fight. And a lot of people say, "Oh, she's not that great." She fought very valiantly with us, and she fought great. And she was just at the Hard Rock event, and I asked her if she's coming back, and she said, "Yeah, I have to do one more."
There is one left on her deal, right?
Yeah. So, but because, you know, she's a good-looking woman, and everybody said, why would she want to get punched with bare knuckles? But it's like they get so much more. So if Paige was to fight in, let's just say, Bellator at the time, people would have said, "Oh, she signed with Bellator." But when she signed with bare knuckle, they go, "Paige is fighting bare knuckle? She's going to get hit with a bare knuckle?"
I
right?
had that reaction.
So that was the first needle mover. And then, you know, some of the other guys that we signed back then, and then Paulie Malignaggi and Artem Lobov was a big one for us at that time. That was only our 5th event. And then Mike Perry, and then all these guys are signing with us now. And our viewership on Fubo, just so you know, we have the 11th most watched program in Fubo Sports history.
Wow.
And that's only under Ronaldo and Messi soccer matches. So we really have the number 1 all-time, most watched show on Fubo Sports. So our viewership is there. Our ticket sales are there. It's just, you know, getting a little bit more mainstream, getting a little bit of, you know, more people to believe in us. And I think we're 2 years away from being in an unbelievable spot.
By the way, Robbie Lawler, Mike Perry, that's the one. That's got to be the one, right? He's sitting there. I saw him. Like, is it about getting the UFC approval?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Are they going to let it? Does Robbie want to do it?
Yeah.
So it's just about that?
Yeah.
And when you say working on it, what does that entail?
We're working on it with the UFC.
Man, that would be insane.
Yeah, that's a sick fight,
That's
right?
I mean, is it possible that would be the next one for Mike?
Yeah, I'll know in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen then it'll be someone else, and then possibly him. But a lot of people are calling out Mike Perry now. And it was good because this is actually the good thing about the Jake Paul fight, because now everybody wants to fight him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But nobody wanted to fight him.
Yeah, before.
Like, they were scared to death of him, and now, but they're forgetting that this is still bare knuckle. It's not boxing. They're not going to box Mike Perry.
Sure.
They're going to fight Mike Perry, and that's the difference.
Perry Till is one that I want to see, but I don't know if it's going to happen, right?
We're talking to him, too.
Oh, really? Jeez.
We'll see.
Yeah, you're talking to everyone.
Talking to everyone.
By the way, I got to imagine you coming up to Dana and being like, "Hey, you know, back in the day, you know, didn't you have a lot of doors slammed in your face?" And he's like, "Yeah, your thing's not going to work out." You know, that's got to be a motivating thing, right?
It's great, man.
Great.
And then I met him.
After the fact,
out at his office.
Oh, right, yes.
We talked for a little bit.
Did you remind him of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did say, he's like, "That's what people like we need. We need someone like that to light a fire under their ass."
That's a good point.
Yeah. So,
incredible.
Yeah, man, it was that was a fire for sure. That was at the Revel Casino in Atlantic City a long time ago. I jumped over the barricade, and I just tapped him on the shoulder, and I was like, "Yo, I want to talk to you about this bare knuckle thing I'm doing." He goes, "Yeah, I heard of it." He goes, "Get out of here. You'll never get it regulated. You'll never get it sanctioned. It ain't going to work." And I was like, "Isn't that what they said to you? I'll see you at the top." And then I walked away, and I'm like, I just said to Dana White, I'll see him at the top. Like, this is crazy. And listen, we're not competing with Dana White.
Of course.
But some people are mentioning us as we could be the next UFC now. And I'm like, wow, man, what a come up.
And now you're going to blow his gate out of the water.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, amazing. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
everything. January 25th on DAZN, subscription only, no pay-per-view, which is tremendous.
Yep.
Love Ben Rothwell as well. Rowdy Beck on there.
Taylor Starling, that's going to be a great one.
Tremendous. And I adore the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez, going up against Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a great fight. That face-off was great with them
great.
a couple of months
Yeah,
ago or
man.
a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
that was tremendous.
I can't wait to get that back. The press conference on the 23rd.
That's right.
It'll be nice.
I wish you guys the best. Good luck. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
for sharing some
It's
stuff.
nice to be here.
Yes.
Awesome.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, cool.
We've come a long way.
Yeah,
You and I,
we
we've come
have.
a long way.
Thank you, Ariel.
I mentioned Darren Till. Darren Till crashed our interview with Anthony Taylor. We'll replay that for you as I say goodbye to David, and then we'll be back with Payton Talbott in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. He is kind enough to join us right here and now on the program. Let us say hello to Anthony Taylor. Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Man, what's going on? Sorry if I look rough. I literally, as you see, I'm sweaty as a mother sucker. I got my sparring gear on because I literally just got done sparring 12 rounds. So I'm ready to go, Ariel. How you feeling, big dog?
I appreciate you jumping on after sparring, and I appreciate the fact that you are ready to go. And so could I ask you, this is a massive opportunity, but first things first, your take on Tommy Fury pulling out of this fight. It was cited as, he didn't want to get kicked. He was not afraid, but was bothered by the threat of being kicked. Do you believe this, or do you think there's something else at play here?
I think there's something else at play. You're talking about his dad. I mean, when you look at Tommy, he's not a reliable guy. And I told people, Tommy and Tyson are totally two completely different guys. Tyson's more like that good Charmin toilet paper, and Tommy's that cheap Costco toilet paper. You can't compare the both, But when you're talking about Tommy, what can you expect? There's always something when you're talking about the Furies and Tommy's, whoever's involved with him in his camp.
Okay, you're such a good speaker, and I want you to get your shine, but the connection isn't great right now, Anthony. It's very pixelated. Is it the Wi-Fi? Is it the 5G?
Let me get out of here. Hold on. Let me do this.
All right.
Let me do this stuff. Hold on.
Okay, so let's reconnect with him. We don't have to put, well, do your thing, guys, behind the scenes, and when he's better, let me know, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. I want to give Anthony Taylor his chance to really, make an impact here, and that was just a little pixelated. I understand he's in the gym, so much love and respect. Misfits 20, by the way, goes down on January 18th on DAZN. Main card starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. Our good friend Wade Plemons on the card, not fighting, much to GC's chagrin, HS Tiki Talkie. He's now fighting Masai Warrior. As I dropped my bottle. I was so upset about that piece of news. I just dropped
I know, losing the Tiki-Taki fight hurts bad.
Yeah. What can you tell us, by the way, of Masai Warrior?
Yeah, huge one, for sure. Big one.
Any look at that shirt. Jesus.
Yeah.
You can't just pop up like that.
Look at that.
Wow.
Old
Look at
school
that
92,
shirt.
baby.
Holy shit. That's a beauty right
back
there.
when things were right in this country.
Wow. Coming off the big win over Wolves, 6 in a row. First 6-game winning streak since 1967 NBD. Wow. Look at that. What is that?
I have to say, I mentioned it yesterday on the award show.
No, it's great.
The sleeve to...
I think it's great.
I mean, it fits perfectly. The sleeves are a little... I don't have big enough guns here for these
It's
sleeves.
nice. I think it's great.
I kind of need... I feel like I need to size up one,
No, I think you look great. Okay, more on that shirt in a moment. Let's go back to Anthony Taylor and see if the connection is a little bit better. Oh, yeah, look at you in the car. Yo, you look better.
Yeah, I had to go in the car, you know what I'm saying? Look, Ariel, I am ready for this massive...
Cut a promo. Let us know. Cut a promo.
Look. I've been manifesting this moment since day one. Hey, Ariel, remember I promised you back when I was fighting in Hawaii, I said I was going to make it to WWE. Watch, I'm going to make it to WWE. I promised you that, and I'm going to make that happen, too, by the end of this year.
Really? That soon?
Oh, yeah.
Well, by the way,
Absolutely.
You're killing it in the influencer game. Why do you need WWE?
Hey, look, ain't nothing like wrestling. Look, if I can make myself an action figure in Walmart and Target, look, I'm definitely taking that road. Triple H, Stephanie, look, if y'all watching this, look, give me a shot at WWE. I'm willing to commit, put in on the works. Hell, I'm still going to fight and do what I have to do because there ain't nobody.
All right, well, we didn't actually get to the Darren Till part, but I can assure you he does crash the interview like a minute after that little exchange. And so if you want to see that, go on the YouTube channel. It's up there. You'll see it. Darren Till crashes interview. It's a great chat. And they will be fighting on January 18th. How about David Feldman? That's on January 25th. It's a busy stretch coming up. January 18th, you got Misfits. 25th, you got BKFC. And on January 18th as well, in the evening, you've got the UFC making its debut at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, up to no good, California. Yes, I said that. That's the venue, by the way, that hosted the first Raw on Netflix on Monday. And you saw the glitz and glamour if you were watching it. It's a very impressive venue, and it's a great card. Headlined Islam Makhachev, Armin Tsarukyan, Merab Dawalishvili, Umar Nurmagomedov. Top to bottom, it's a great card. Yuri Prochaska against Jamal Hill. And you know we love each and every time Payton Talbott is fighting. In fact, in our prediction show for 2025, I predicted, my bold prediction is that Payton Talbott will be the breakout winner for 2025 as far as MMA is concerned. A bold prediction, but he's fighting early, and I think if he fights 3 or so more times, he's in a tremendous spot around this time next year. And so without further ado, let us say hello to our old friend, the great Payton Talbott. There he is. Hello, Payton. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Ariel?
If I wasn't such an avid watcher of your YouTube channel, I would be shocked by your current look because you have changed so much since we last spoke. And so we must start there, Payton. What happened? I mean, what happened to the hair? What happened to the hair? What did you do to the hair? It was so lovely. Not to say that this isn't lovely, but it was a shocking moment when we all got the clip of you, I think, sparring on a particular. I mean, look at that. What a difference. I'm sorry.
That picture's terrible.
I'm sorry. What happened to the hair? What happened?
I got rid of it.
Well, clearly, yes.
Hit him with a little change up, you know.
You just were getting tired of it, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just good to change it up a little bit. And it's just, I don't know. Image is just a construct. Your hair is not who you are. So.
Okay. Do you like the new look?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. I just get to roll out of bed and not touch my hair. So I haven't felt that in a long time, which is really nice. But yeah, I don't know. Just things change. Your appearance changes. It's good to just like break that pattern of like how people see you because you just recreate yourself.
I love that. Are you do you think you'll like cut it all the way down to this to grow it back, or you think you're done with that look?
No. I'll grow it out eventually at some point. I love my long hair, so I'm sure I'll. I don't know. Winter was tough with it being short. Like my head was really cold.
Yeah. So
I don't think I can do that next winter.
You know, I'm very in touch with the kids and the lingo as we've discussed. So what would you say your aura level was with the long hair, and now your aura level with the short hair? What would you say? I'm just curious. I don't know, like, how did that work? So what would you say? What number would it be? 10,000 with the short hair, negative 10,000 with the long, or what do you say?
Yeah, I'm in the negatives. What am I gonna do? I lost all my aura. I'm not the same fighter. I'm gonna get my butt kicked. What am I gonna do?
But the stash, I think, kind of evens things out.
Yeah, I literally just shaved it like today.
Oh,
I'll probably get rid of it.
You had a beard.
I did, yeah. It's growing fast now, Ariel. I'm getting old.
Look at you.
I don't like the facial hair thing. It's like you get lazy for 3 days and it's just there.
No, it's good. It's good. By the way, what's going on behind you over there with the screen? What are we looking at?
Yeah, that's Aphex Twin warehouse project. So if you're bored and want something to listen to, it's a good one.
What is this, a music video, or is this just like a loop of images?
Yeah, it's like a hour-and-a-half set, I think, and then they just like took shots of the audience and stuff and put AI like editing software over it. So it's just fun to look at.
How do you feel about AI?
I like it. I mean, it's kind of scary, but if you put it in the right hands, I think you can do some really powerful things. And I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like parts of it are really scary. And it's like you put power in the wrong hands anywhere, and it's a scary thing. But if you put it in the right creative hands, I think you can see what's behind me. People create some really special stuff.
You're just 26, but you strike me as a bit of an old soul. And so there was a part of me that thought that you would say like, nah, I don't like that. Like, give me an old school VHS tape, a VCR, and I could rock out with that.
Normally I would say that, but I mean, I've been like researching it, and like I've gotten into like coding softwares for editing and stuff, and it's just like fascinating the amount you can like push certain parameters of a video, and like just artistically, there's like endless possibilities.
Okay. Your YouTube channel is my favorite. I'm not trying to gas you up here, but it's legit. I mean, I watched the latest drop, 40 something minutes. I watched the whole thing today. It's an incredible watch. Here's a little taste of the intro. I mean, it's a real trip, as they say. We've got all kinds of imagery. We have all kinds of, a lot of it kind of goes over my head. I'm not supposed to probably even know what some of this stuff means if we're being honest. But look at this stuff. It's unbelievable. It's a look into your mind. There's a little bit of Spanish in there. You spend some time in Mexico. You're speaking Spanish. But then we get, if I may, we get into like the real meat and potatoes of the video, which is like 40 something minutes. You and your friend wearing a suit in Mexico. And I do have to ask you, Payton, because here you are talking to your friend. What's this young man's name in the suit who always wears the suit?
That's William, one of the 3-person team, me, William, and Andres.
Shout out to William. But are you sitting on a window ledge, on a chair on a window ledge? Like if you move a couple inches, will you fall off the window there? What is going on here? Because it looks like there's nothing between you and the window ledge.
Yeah, there's pretty small little ledge there. If I fell, it wouldn't have been good. But yeah, that was like my hotel room in Mexico. It was just like the ledge.
Yeah, so it appears as though he's sitting in the balcony and you're sitting outside of the balcony.
Yes, that is. I mean, that's just like a representation of our relationship. We're both. I don't know. William tends to stay on more the safe side of like thrill seeking, and then I think I bring him the other way at times.
Very clearly, and I like that. I actually have a lot of friends. Like most of my best friends are full of tattoos and are crazy, and they like to smoke and take drugs. And I think we get along because I'm more of. I think I'm more William, if you know what I'm saying. I'm more kind of the straight guy, even though I aspire and sort of like I dream of being the guy who sits on the ledge. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm just wondering, to make that decision, you have so much. Maybe it's an optical illusion, but you have so much ahead of you. I mean, as a person watching that, I'm nervous on your behalf that you like are going to move and fall off the balcony. No, like, was it?
Oh, you were worried about me?
I was very worried. In fact, doesn't someone yell at you at some point to say like, when are you going to wrap this up?
Oh yeah, the hotel workers were like, "You got to get up." Like they said it in Spanish. I can't even remember, but they told me to get down. I was like, "You mean jump?"
No. Oh Jesus. I mean, if your management or the UFC saw that, they'd be mortified.
Do you think so?
I don't know. You don't think so? Maybe it's part of the appeal.
I mean, my manager likes it. He loves that I do stuff like that. I think maybe the UFC wouldn't like it as much, but I feel like it's one of those things where until you get hurt, that's when they start giving you strikes. As long as I'm like okay and show up to my fight, then I don't think they're too concerned.
Okay. Like as long as you don't like punch a computer and like mess up your knuckle or something, right?
Yeah, something really stupid like that. Yeah.
The stuff is great, man. I really enjoy it. It's so different than anything that's out there. And this one was a particularly long one. It was like like I said, it was like 40 something minutes, right?
Yeah, this one was a little different too. He wanted to kind of change it up because it was just like a kind of Christmas, New Year special thing. And usually we just put stuff out without a lot of context. So we just wanted to go the other way and kind of like make people just like sit and listen instead of just get like bombarded with like visual and like audio stimulation. So yeah, it was cool. We got to just like talk about stuff that we're passionate about, give some shout outs to like smaller artists that we really enjoy and use in the YouTube that I thought that was super cool, just them being able to have a moment.
What were you doing in Mexico? Just messing around.
Hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Hanging out, taking care of some business, Ariel.
Okay, all right.
Investing. I was investing.
Oh, in what?
Just some stuff down there. There's a whole world of like creative endeavors down in Mexico. They're very artistic people, and I'm just planting seeds.
I get it. Okay, yeah, you're investing in yourself.
Yeah, always.
I saw you at the PI over there, and you did a whole interview in Spanish. I didn't know you were bilingual.
I'm not very bilingual. But,
I mean, you were rocking it over there.
I learned a lot while I was down there. But I mean, I think I did 90% of it in Spanish, but I always took it in school, so I have like a good base. And then just being there in the culture and like talking to people in Spanish every day, it helps a lot. But I think it's important, like when you go down into a different country that speaks a different language, to like fully immerse yourself. And sometimes that means learning the language, eating the food, just doing all the things. I think it's really important.
My favorite thing about that video is that you're making a great attempt to speaking Spanish, and they're still hitting you with the subtitles in Spanish.
I know. The couple times they corrected like my plural, past and present tense, which is fine.
And so I just, if you don't mind, I'm not trying to like parse through your whole interview, but there were just a couple of things that stood out. In particular, one, because I consider myself, a loyal guy. I have friends who I'm very close to, and you mentioned at one point that your friends gave you like a shot that was filled with like a disgusting concoction that made you throw up for 2 days, and one of the things that was in there was expired dog food. And so my reaction to that was like, I don't know if I'd be friends with those people anymore if they gave me that. And so why did they give you this drink, and why did you drink it?
Oh, I've dished it out just as much, Ariel.
All right.
Like I've done pretty much the same thing to them. But we were playing a game, and one of the punishments I lost, and one of the punishments was having to drink this drink that they all made. At times I hadn't lost, and I was actually the one filling the drink, so you gotta drink it at that point.
And you're throwing up for 2 days. Like, you're gonna inhale this thing and you're gonna be sick.
I didn't think nobody had gotten sick. I was the first one that got sick, and I think it was because they put the expired dog food in there. So I was the first one that really got sick, and then we kind of like stopped playing it after that.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I was gonna get sick when I drank it.
What else was in there?
Oh, I don't even know, because I wasn't watching them the whole time. But when I got sick, I asked them like what was in there, and that was one of the things they listed. But there's all kinds of like spices and oils, and I don't know, dude. There could have been like toenails, like
and
all the things.
And will you do this again, or does this end it? Like, you getting sick, does that end the particular game that you play with them?
No, I mean that was when I was like 15.
Oh,
so I haven't done it since then.
Okay, all right. Wow, 15. Jeez Louise. All right, and these are still friends?
Yeah. One of them is right on the couch over there.
Oh, okay. Do you live with other people?
Yeah, I have 2 of my really close friends that I live with. Andres lives with me on and off throughout the year, and then we just have some people in and out.
You've also been acting, right? Like, you dropped like several clips that are like, it's a movie, right? That you're acting in?
Well, yeah, we put out like a short film on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, it was supposed to just be like a small, like 2 to 5 minute skit, and then we just kept like adding more and more stuff that we wanted to do. But we filmed that over like 4 days. So I don't know. William did a phenomenal job. Digital Waste Studios did a great job with the soundtrack. They actually watched the whole thing from start to finish and just played along to it, and that's where we got the soundtrack from.
Wow.
And then Andres did a phenomenal job with the cinematography and camera work. So it was a super small team, but I thought it turned out really good, given that we shot it over 4 days, came up with it last second. If we had time and like more energy, I think we would have put a lot more stuff in it. But
It's super impressive. Yeah. Is this something you want to do more of?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know about acting. It's not that fun, but definitely more creating stuff and just putting stuff out there artistically that I like.
Are you more passionate about that than fighting? Is fighting a means to do more of that, or are there like, is it not fair to even compare the two?
No, I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, a performance is like something you put out there, and once it's out there, it's there forever. It's like, it's just there for people to judge. You can't really take a win or a loss back or how you looked. And then these things that I put out there, it's the same thing. Like, you're vulnerable at times, and you spend time like crafting this thing, and then you put it out into the public, and then it's just like there forever for people to judge. So I don't know. I think they're the same thing, but I like them for that reason. It's like cool to look back on it and see, how you looked when you were vulnerable in front of thousands of people.
Some people have to like draw upon dark experiences and go to a dark place when they fight to bring out the rage and the anger, have some animosity, hate their opponent. Do you need that? Do you go there?
No.
No.
It's like a really cool thing that I get to do. I love that I'm able to do it. I feel super fortunate. It's just exciting. I mean, I feel it's probably all the emotions. It's excitement, it's love, it's like power, and there is like a little bit of like violent and dark emotion in there, but it's just as dark as you can go the opposite way, you know?
But
I think they're both.
If you eventually meet someone who is going to really come after you and poke you and try to make this personal, do you think you will feel other emotions?
Probably. I'm not gonna say that I'm only capable of feeling certain things, you know? Like
Sure.
somebody can bring out anything in you. But I hope that does happen, because that would just allow me to understand myself better. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of why I'm doing this. So yeah, it would probably give me some more answers to questions.
When you say that's why I'm doing this, I mean, most people, prize fighters, would say I'm doing this to get paid, ultimately, to get famous, to get paid, to advance. You're doing it to find out more about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I love the money and the pay is really nice, but it's really cool being able to understand yourself through another person. And I feel like that's the only way we really can understand ourselves. If you sit in a box that's just white walls, there's no difference between you and the walls. So it's like there's not really much you can understand,
Okay.
you know? But if you put yourself in a room with like three different people in the same room, you can understand yourself through the contrast of those three people. And I feel like there's no other easier way to do that than fighting, because you're in direct contrast with someone. It's like you versus them. It's the most like clear way to define your ideals versus theirs.
Wow. So, and is that how you pit yourself up against your opponent? Because you're from different backgrounds, different ideologies, different people.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it never goes that deep at times, but
Okay.
at the very basic level, it's just me versus them. And through, you know, all the interactions of fighting, you understand like who you are in a really stressful scenario against this person that's just completely different.
Do you try to, like Barcelos, who you're fighting on January 18th, do you try to learn about them, who they are? Do you go that deep into them? Not so much their fighting style, but like who they are internally.
Yeah, a little bit. And I don't know if that gives me an edge or anything. I think it's just like interesting to me. I'm going to be in there with a guy for 15 minutes, like trying to take his head off. So the least I can do is try to understand him and get the most out of the experience, you know, when I'm in there. I think if you just go in there and you like, it's kind of a stranger you're fighting, I don't know if it's as interesting or fun for me, maybe personally, but yeah, it shouldn't just be about winning or losing. I think it's more than that.
How do you feel about Barcelos?
He's pretty fast and explosive. He's getting up there in age. My roommate just whispered something, but
what do you whisper? Is he playing Call of Duty as well?
What did you whisper? His editing skills suck. He said his editing skills suck.
Oh, what? What did he
hired somebody on it?
Does he do videos?
I don't know. He just like posts stuff on Instagram. My roommate hates him.
Wow. He hates Barcelos because of his editing skills, not because of like.
No, Barcelos is cool. He's fine. He's a veteran, much respect.
But his editing skills suck.
Like 37 and still fighting and getting after it, but he just doesn't like his videos.
Okay, wow. Does he try to make like you know, avant-garde videos like you?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just like training footage.
Okay.
But as you could guess, like my friends aren't super into that world, so they probably just see it and they're just like.
They're like, who's this guy with his weak-ass training videos, montages? Right? There's no flashy lights here. Yeah. No, I get it. They're very critical. They're art people. They're creatives.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are just degenerates, but.
Or that, yeah. Would you say that some of them are maybe like, you know, they kind of look down on people who attempt to be creative? The word is escaping me right now. Like someone who's like, you know, they think they're almost like above the you know, like they're what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for when someone is
Condescending.
yeah, towards someone who will attempt to make something great and like, oh, look at this. This doesn't even hold a candle to what we're putting out.
Not really. I mean, I think my friends are just pretty critical in general. Like we've made fun of each other a lot growing up, and I think it's just like they can smell when something isn't like genuine. And I think, if you're creating something and it's genuine and like it sucks, then it's like, that's cool, dude. You really committed to that. And like, although it's not that good, I can respect you like putting yourself out there genuinely. But I guess when it's not, they can smell it and they're like, that's when they point the finger.
I heard you mention that you have friends around you who allow you to like bask in the limelight of all the good things that are coming your way, but also will humble you and will keep you grounded. And so do you feel like a lot of good things are coming your way? Do you feel your star growing? And how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I do. It's just a lot of change. It's like, it's weird because you'll have something you want to do in a month or two, or you'll have this like vision, and then things kind of change, and then you're like, how really worth it is that now? But the one thing that those friends have done is like consistently shown up for me regardless, and I know that no matter like what happens with fighting or socially, like they're always going to be there. So it's really nice to have that like guaranteed stability. But it's cool. I've met a lot of really cool people, and I made a lot of really cool connections that are priceless in my eyes. And in the future, when I'm done with fighting, I'll have all these different ponds that I can dip into.
What was it like hanging with Frank Ocean?
Oh, it was cool. He's an interesting guy, super intelligent, and like a very focused individual. But he's cool. Yeah.
Were you talking business or just hanging? How did that come about?
We were just hanging. We happened to be in the same city at the same time, and then he reached out to me after my fight and like congratulated me, and we've kind of gone back and forth online since then.
Damn.
But yeah, we just went and got some food.
It's impressive, man. Every time we speak, it's like, oh yeah, Tony Hawk and I were just chilling. Frank Ocean and I were just chilling. Is there like a bucket list one? Is there one that you would love? Like if you could have dinner with someone tomorrow, no matter where they're from, any walk of life, any period of time, who are you picking?
Probably Sam Hyde.
God, let me just Google Sam Hyde real quick.
You're gonna Google him. Uh-oh.
Who's Sam Hyde? Who's Sam Hyde? Artist? Musician?
The Ghost of Kiev.
The Ghost of Kiev, yes. Great movie. No?
No, he's got accused of being like the Ghost of Kiev, and then that's how his like fame started.
Oh wow, this is who you're choosing. Why?
If you watch like any of his satire for more than like 30 minutes, it's kind of self-explanatory, but he's just a like really intelligent person, but he always spins his intelligence into a very schizophrenic and like degenerate way. Like, I don't. Do you know Fish Tank? It's like, yeah. Have you seen the show Fish Tank?
No.
Okay, well, it's the show that he created that pretty much is. It's like a show where he takes all these very strange people and puts them into a house. It's like a social experiment, and it's a genius like business design because the streamers can pay a certain amount and fund it essentially, but then they can also add to the challenges by like sending challenges for them to do and pretty much just interacting with them. But it gives like, yeah, it's 24/7 live, and it gives viewers a way to invest and interact with the show so that it's like constantly changing. And I think that's like the new wave is like streaming and getting payers to like interact with what they're watching.
Have you ever heard of the Lovely Feathers?
No.
Okay, I didn't expect you to hear of them. Lovely Feathers were a great band that had two albums in the mid 2000s. I think like 2006, 2008. Full disclosure, I grew up with them, and I think the reason why I'm so fascinated in you and your exploits is because I grew up with a lot of kids who were exactly like you, who made movies like you, who talk like you, who are interested in the same things, believe it or not. And they were a band that I think, maybe I'm wrong, you may laugh in my face, that were supremely quirky and right up your alley. And I say quirky in the best way possible. These were like some of my best friends, the Lovely Feathers. If you could check them out, let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm totally off base here. They were super, super weird, but I listen to them all the time still to this day. I think they would be good. If you want to walk out to one of their songs next week, hey, that's on you. All I'm saying is, if you just check them out, let me know what you think of them, all right?
Yeah, I'm looking them up right now. I'll bookmark them.
All right, cool. You tell me what you think of them, and I'll let you go in a moment. But I wanted to ask you about this other video that I saw of you on like some kind of dating show with the Full Violence crew. Now, this didn't seem very Payton Talbott-esque, if I'm being honest. It didn't seem very Payton Talbott-esque because everything you do is kind of the antithesis of fight or flight with, 6 women. Who convinced you to do this, Payton? Well, just looking at your face right now, I'm not sure how you feel about it in retrospect.
They convinced me to do it. It was kind of ambiguous at first. It was just like, hey, we want to do just like this like special like dating show where you just like meet 6 girls, pick one, 5-minute kind of thing, 10-minute thing. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. They offered to pay me. And then it ended up being like 35 minutes and I'm sure you saw it. And
this one I actually didn't go to the end on, if I'm being honest. I didn't feel like this was a representation of the true Payton Talbott.
Yeah, I mean, I like women, so that is definitely a thing. But
yeah, I know. But you didn't strike me as the dating show type of guy, or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know exactly what it was going to look like until like right before, so I kind of committed to it, and then it just happened. But I don't know. At the very least, met some people, and me and Jack had a good time. So
did you meet a girlfriend? Like, did you hook up with anyone? Like, are they? I don't know how long ago this was. Like, your hair is different, so no. Okay,
No.
You didn't find true love. Basically, is what I'm trying to ask.
I did not find true love, Ariel. I have yet.
Okay, well, you're still very young, 26. Intuit Dome, that's going to be fun, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't even know what it looks like in there, but I heard it's huge.
Yeah,
so
it's very
I'm
impressive.
excited. That's like where a lot of my people are in LA. So
Inglewood.
yeah, just the LA area.
Okay.
And Costa Mesa, Orange County.
And after Barcelos, perhaps Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
That's the one you want.
Yeah, let's get that going.
You want that, huh?
I'd take that.
I saw you said it's Tate and Goggins. Those are those are the guys on your hit list.
Yeah, just a free for all.
You versus both of them. Why do you hate Tate so much?
Man, he's just like the antithesis of me.
Yeah,
just,
he is.
It's like what I said in that video. It just seems like somebody cheated on him when he was younger, and now he like has this vendetta against women. I feel like he takes himself super seriously, and is just like he's kind of a poison for masculine culture.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people would agree. It would be a great matchup. For now, we focus on Barcelos. It's always a pleasure. I genuinely enjoy these chats. I hope you do to some degree as well. I'm looking forward to your return on January 18th. Thanks for giving us some time. And shout out to Tenori as well. Great people over there. Great stuff. Love that you're repping them. Will you have to take the nose ring out when you fight? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, shout out to Tenori and Reno Academy of Combat, my gym.
Love it. Thank you, Payton. All the best to you. Good luck. Looking forward to it.
All right.
There he is.
Talk to you.
The great Payton Talbott. Always a great chat with him. And once again, do yourself a favor. Go check out the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is unbelievable. With all due respect to DJ, DJ has the best YouTube channel of retired fighters out there. He has the best of the current fighters out there, in my opinion. The YouTube channel is fantastic. It really is. He returns to action on January 18th. Thank you very much to our good friends over at NordVPN for the love and support, as always. One interview left, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to as well. It has been a very long time since I last spoke to Matt the Hammer Hamill. He was a huge part of the UFC as they were exploding. Obviously, The Ultimate Fighter Season 5, that was the one that was coached by Ken Shamrock and Tito Ortiz way back when. I was at the finale, believe it or not. 3-time NCAA Division III national champion. First ever deaf fighter to compete in the UFC way back when. Obviously, had the huge fight against Michael Bisping, the only man to defeat John Jones till this day. Fought not only the likes of John Jones and Michael Bisping, but Rampage Jackson, Tito Ortiz, Rich Franklin, Alex Gustafsson, Thiago Silva, Keith Jardine, Mark Munoz, Tim Boach, a who's who from the world of the light heavyweight division throughout his time in the UFC. And he popped up in the news over the break. He posted this on social media, which caught a lot of attention, including my attention, saying, "I just got the most powerful digital hearing aids ever made. For the first time in 41 years, I can finally hear my kids' voices, the sounds of people walking and laughing. I finally heard my mom's voice and she cried. I'm looking forward to hearing my brother's Pat voice as well. I only hope he doesn't have a voice like a foghorn. This is awesome, although I know it will take some time to adapt to all of this. Happy New Year." That's incredible stuff. And that kind of went viral. And I know there's a lot of new fans out there who weren't watching when Matt was active in the UFC and post UFC, but I've had the opportunity to interview him throughout his UFC career, and I thought that this was an incredible piece of news. And so I reached out to Matt Hamill via social media, and he got back to me, and we made this happen. And he's about to come on the show, and part of him coming on the show obviously involves having an ASL interpreter, an official interpreter, on the Zoom as well. So this will be a first for us, and it will be the first time that he'll ever be on the program as well. And so it is a massive, massive honor and a great thrill and privilege to say hello once again, and say hello for the first time in this show's history to the former UFC fighter, longtime competitor, and Tough 3 alum, the great Matt Hamill, who is kind enough to join us, and alongside Matthew, our interpreter today, who is helping us as well. Matt, great to see you. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me here. I mean, it was an awesome opportunity. So it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. And this news that came out warmed my heart and many others as well. It went everywhere. And so could you explain to us what you experienced, how you got this hearing aid to be able to hear your kids' voices and your family's voices for the first time?
Yes, really. When I was born, like 1 or 2 years old, I had an old-fashioned box. Yeah, it's like an AM, FM radio with a headphone. That was the old-fashioned back in the 70s. I mean, it's more like an R2 Star Wars, beep, 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 like that, with a heavy box. Until when I was like 8 years old, I stopped wearing. I mean, if you say, "How are you?" It's then to the box, it's to the thing, it says, "Ta, ta, ta, ta." It's not really actually words like that one. So it's more like a Morse code like that. And then I stopped wearing hearing aids until now. They go, the manager, agent here, they go, "Matt, there was a new model, the latest, most powerful hearing aids ever made." I'm like, okay, why not? I just tried it. So when I put it on, I'm like, wow. Then I started listening to my mom for it. I said, "Mom, I could finally, the first time I could hear your voice." And she cried. Then I look at both of my kids. They just stare and look at it. They were crying. Then I said, "Dad," and I said, "Wow, did they dad all the way?" And I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. So it takes some time to adapt this down. But everybody thought that I could hear everything, but it's not. So it's not like a film, for example. I mean, knowing we left dynamic, but the hearing the actual word is still different. So it did take some time to adapt this down. So yeah.
That is an incredible story, and thank you for sharing that with us, Matt. Could I ask, what is that feeling like? The moment? Can you even possibly put it into words? What it is like hearing your kids' voices for the first time at your age now, in your late 40s?
Oh man, it was thrill. I mean, it's more like I'm like, wow, it's real. I mean, I thought I'm in a dream, you know. I didn't think it's gonna happen. But the thanks to all the technology, they made the best unit. But I didn't expect to hear the sound at all, you know. So, but I'm hearing your voice, and then I'm like, oh, that's Ariel's voice. So I would know from that time if I see you around the fight, the UFC event, so I would know it's your voice, like that. So right now it's just recording memories in the sound. So, but I'm just so in awe, in thrill, the sound. I feel like I don't want to take my hair down. Like that, I just keep it on, hear the birds chirping, hear people walking, knock on the door, and then sometimes kid was hiding in the corner. Dad, dad, that at the what. So all the echoes down and all that. So the kids were so happy, you know that one. But it's more like a language bear cry, like that.
If there's someone out there who knows someone who could benefit from these hearing aids, where can they learn more about this? Where can they can look into perhaps getting them?
Well, there were a lot of people on it, but I went through the hearing aid company, but I won't tell more detailed about the company. My manager is working on it for the contact, for the proposal. We're trying to get that sponsor and all that. Once you get that done, I was spread out the name of the brand, the model, and all that was done. But right now, they're still talking. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I have like over 1,000 email and message about the hearing aids, what brand they want. So, but I didn't even realize they were empty because if you want to get the power hearing, you have to get a big hearing aid, the headphones, all that. But they make it so small behind my ears. So I was like, that was amazing, all of that one. But I did think it was going to happen, all of that. I do believe, oh yeah, it's not going to work, not going to work. I have tried over like 50, 60 different hearing aids. None of them work. Until a couple of days ago, they proved me wrong. And I tried it and everything. That's the best one for me.
At this point in your life, did you, prior to this experience, did you just kind of, come to the conclusion that you perhaps would never be able to hear your kids' voices? Like, is this all a surprise? Is this all gravy for you that you were never really truly banking on?
Yeah, it was unexpected. I didn't think I would never hear them the rest of my life. I would never hear the sound the rest of my life. Let me tell you something. I mean, everybody thought that I could hear a lot of that because the way I look at them, all that. No, I'm really born deaf. I can't hear nothing. Without hearing aids, I can't hear an airplane flew by. I mean, even coach in the corner, they go, Hammer, put your hand up. I can't hear nothing. Even the 40, 50,000 people screaming, just clean, I can't hear nothing. I'm just looking at them, I give them thumbs up. Yeah, all the down, just cream at them. Thank you. That's a good benefit for me because, I mean, I can focus easy. I don't get nervous. I mean, but the downfall is I can't hear the coach in the corner. Lord, I was so just like pro the kind. The bottom line is I'm just happy what I have right now, and I'm really thankful and grateful they made it the manufacturer of the hearing aid. So it was awesome.
So obviously, this is the first time that we're hearing from you in quite some time, and it's great to have you on the show. Could you give us an update, Matt? What have you been up to? I understand two of your children are actively competing in wrestling these days, which is amazing to see. We saw a photo of you and your children. And so can you give us an update as to where you're at in life right now?
Yeah. I have been busy teaching. I'm an instructor for MMA and wrestling at Plus Gym in Loveland, Ohio. And the plus training, I have 4 fighting, include my nephew, scheduled to fight February 15 in Newport, Kentucky. And spending time with the kids. Yeah, both kids are very active. They're wrestling and they're playing football, and then they also do gymnastics stuff. Well, my daughter is still in wrestling, and they put up to middle school, even though she's in 6th grade. and my son is still in wrestling. And then I still travel the U.S. and international, doing the presentation in the seminar and hosting the Hammer episode. My manager and I was working on book stuff, so I have to be keeping myself busy. So yeah, the both kids would love to go out, go sledding and tubing in the late night, a lot of hours. But of course, I'm just a family guy. I love to take the kids go out as much as I can.
I love it. And I understand in October, you held the 3rd annual Hammer Deaf Expo in Seattle, Washington. Could you tell me what the Hammer Deaf Expo is? What is that all about?
Well, I wanted a foundation for the proposed a better deaf program, not only for the deaf program but for the handicap. And we have a booth around, and we're gonna have a cornhole tournament because many deaf kids they haven't met a famous celebrity. So I'll be willing to meet everyone. I gave them the words of advice and courage and passion. There's a lot of kids that look up to me as a good role model. And yeah, so we have all the activities, all that, but things are getting better and growing. And so I'm going to be back around different states for the Hammer Deaf Expo. So they also have a program that I support for the interpreting and for the deaf needs, for the stitching, not only for the sport, but the need for the school, for education, and all that we're trying to combine and to make us support each other, all that.
I also understand that there's a new Hamill on the scene. I believe your nephew, Liam Hamill, is rising up the ranks, just scored a big knockout and is well on his way in his MMA career. Are you helping to train Liam, and what do you think his ceiling is? There he is, right there with you, victorious recently. Do you think that he can make it to the UFC?
Yeah, he's been working really hard. I've been training with him. The more I've trained with him, the more my body becomes young, and I'm feel like, oh yeah, I want to get back in the fight and all that one. But he keeps me stay active, and he's undefeated, and so he's really young. He's 23 years old. It's getting better. So yeah, he had that heavy hand. That's why they call him the nickname, the Hitman, and all that. So he's getting a lot better. But I told him you don't want to something to be stepping stone. So I told him little by little, he's going to do one thing at a time, so there's no rush. So he's doing great.
I saw a video of you training recently in sparring. Are you thinking of getting back in there?
Well, apparently, I was going to think about maybe one time, if I'm retired, or I don't know. So I would see how to let it flow, to stay in a good shape, a lot that way. And but right now, I just don't want to sit down and doing nothing, but I just want to keep active and work on each shoes and wrestling and then boxing. And so I'll be doing a lot better. But the most important is my cardio. So if you're out of shape, then you're out of the business.
Your name came up recently in the news when we found out that they were getting rid of the 12-6 elbow rule. And of course, this is the Matt Hamill rule, if you will, because of your fight against John Jones. Till this day, all these years later, some 14 and a half years later, you're still the only man to have a victory over John Jones. When you found out about them reversing this rule, which of course helped you beat John Jones on that day in December of 2009, what was your reaction?
Well, I appreciate you brought this up. I'm getting a lot of feedback, and I know that John Jones was a little disappointing. He just like to have one loss record, and he's want to be a clean undefeated. A lot of that was good. But let me tell you something. When I fought John Jones, no other fighter ever took me down. So he was the first fighter ever took me down. So I had my arm got caught on the camping, broke my collarbone and landed back and he got on top of me. I wanted to get ready for escape. But I look at it, my bones did not stick it out of the skin, but it just stick it out. I'm like, He started pounding me. And then I'm like, oh, great. I only have one arm stripping like that one. So, and then I'll go, forget it. Go ahead. Then I could see the blood came in my eyes like that. It's not broken, but just with the skin like that good. But it wasn't my night. But if the one Lord record really bothers Jean, I told him, let's have a rematch. I mean, I'm telling you something. It's not going to be like Jake Paul or Mike Tyson. I expect to be blunt. I expect to be a broken bone. So let's have one last shot. You know, so if Jean wants to have a rematch with me, I'll be willing to do it to make him satisfied. But I'll be prepared. If that really happens, I will go to a proper training camp. And then at least someone who's trained better than me, who's really great fighters like that. So, yeah, when I say so, but don't get me wrong, I wish him nothing but the best. So, I have nothing to be bothered with John Jones, but it would be a nice opportunity to have a rematch like that. So.
As you know, Matt, he is the current UFC heavyweight champion. He has not lost since that fight. Are you sincere when you say that? I mean, he's still active, right? You're sincere when you say you would be interested in fighting him, and do you think you have a chance to beat him, with all due respect?
Oh, absolutely. Just take up for me. I'm like a stand on a lot, man. I'll be willing to go move up to heavyweight, so I will have to worry about kind of weight, so, but it would be my first time to fight with a heavyweight. Then, yeah, so it's up to Dana White. If you want to do it, so let's do it. So I'll be ready.
He has said that he would like, and Dana as well has said that they would like to reverse that loss, right? To turn it into a win, because now the rule has been changed. How do you feel about that?
Good. Well, we still have unfinished business, But Sean wants to overturn the one loss out. I didn't think it was gonna happen all that because all the past, that was done. It doesn't really affect me a lot that, but the way Sean Jones mentioned my name and again for the last 12 years, a lot that, I'm like, come on, let's move on. But everybody on walk by go, Hamill, you beat Sean Jones. He lost on you, I'm like, oh, okay, but thank you. But I mean, I'm not like the kind of person to tell him that I beat Sean Jones or that. So, but it is what it is, So there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. John Jones fight or not, is part of the motivation perhaps for you to fight one more time now that you have these hearing aids so that you can actually hear the crowd? I know you can't necessarily compete with them, but maybe for the walkout, is that something that comes to mind? Does that motivate you?
Well, really, I cannot have a device to hear aids in the ring. It will break a lot that good. It would be nice if I have a hearing aid on. I'm telling you, I have never heard a walk-on song.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, my old manager pick out the song, and I have no idea. So he pick it out for me, all that good. But finally, if I have a hearing aid, I would like to pick out my own workout song, that one. Before I get to the gate of hell, I would take my head off. Then it's hammer time, like in the ring, So, but my favorite workout song was the Dumbo Man,
Why is that?
Because that's the one that harmony. It gives me motivation. It gives me the echoes down because that wave and the sound and the vibration of the speaker, that's how I get my heart on fire. The rest of the song was okay. The second one was Rage Against the Machine. Remember, no words, only the vibration, the echo, and so the Dumbo Man and the Rage Against the Machine, that's one that got my heart on fire.
That's incredible. Could I just ask, other than obviously hearing your family's voices and whatnot, what's been the best byproduct of these new hearing aids? What's been the best thing that you have heard?
Well, the best one is the first sound that I've been hearing was, was my mom, you know. But I know it's not in the family. But when I went to the gym, I hear a pushing the bag, and I was like, "What's that?" Then I look around and I saw my nephew Liam. He was carrying the bag. I didn't hear the sound. So the sound from hearing the bag, it felt like a real drum sound. So that was the first moment that I will never forget. And the punch in the bag, and I didn't think there any sound, but really it does happen. When you hit the bag, all the sound is flowing. It comes to my body, into my ears. So that was the moment that was amazing.
I love that. And in fact, you know, you were an inspiration. You continue to be an inspiration, Matt. We actually have someone. We're live right now, and we have someone in our YouTube comments named Ryan Glunt, who wrote while this interview was playing, saying, "Matt is the only reason I had 13 fights back in the day. He is deaf as well. He said he saw you on Tough and said, if he can do it, I can do it as well." And I'm sure you have heard a million stories like that of people who have said that you have inspired them. And now with this new information, this new news, I'm sure you're getting a ton of those messages again, right?
Yes, because that I'm getting enormous support, and because this hearing aid really changed my life. I mean, this is so amazing, and but let me tell you something. I've been traveling all over the world, and I'm seeing many kids that look up to me, and they have cochlear implant, and they have a beatbox and hearing all that was good. But I see themselves, they look like they have a low self-esteem, but they need something like a positive influence. So I'm telling you, the one that I gave them words, and then I'm trying to get a hush to touch, and they got really motivated, they're smiling, and handcuff can achieve something, because I have been around with the handcuff for many years, and I don't really believe what other people say, but I have explained to each person, you can do it, you push yourself, you don't give up, and follow your dream. Then 4 months later, they start to message me, Hamill, this boy is starting to involve wrestling. This boy started involved in basketball. This don't socialize. They finally got out of the shell. They walk out their own, and they start to socialize. For one, they were like an introvert, and they wanted isolated, and they didn't want to be out because they were being bullied. Many people were being bullied, you know, a lot of that good. They were finally, I explained to them, everything changed. I'm hoping the hearing aid or the latest model of the best is divine will give any person you need for the to hear will help, you know, because this is 2025. I believe in 2030 will go on, we'll have a better technology, either a smaller one, like a miracle ear, just put in, then they'll heal better. So, but who knows? So right now, I'm just happy where I am right now. I love doing hearing. And again, I would never ever take it off. And I just want to, but I'm starting hearing. I see hearing band and all that. And I mean, I'm still recognize your voice. So I would never forget your voice.
I love that. I love that, Matt. And I am so happy for you. Truly, I'm delighted for you. This is incredible news. It was an amazing thing to read during the holiday season. And I couldn't be happier for you and your family. So great to reconnect with you on this Wednesday, and glad to hear that you're doing great, and very excited about the new member of the family who we may be talking about in the UFC someday, doing great things. Your nephew Liam. So all the best. Continue being an inspiration. Good luck to your kids as they embark on their wrestling journey. And thank you so much for doing this. It was a real pleasure.
Again, thank you so much. I'm really enjoying to be on the show, and please keep it going. And thank you so much for everything. And I'm really excited what next the next many doors of opportunities. So, but thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Matt. And thank you to Matthew, our interpreter, who did a phenomenal job here, our first ASL interpreter on the program. Thank you to both of you. All the best, and we'll talk to you soon, Matt. Thank you so much.
All right. Woo! Bye-bye.
I love it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There he is, Matt the Hammer Hamill. How great was that? I have not talked to Matt in many, many years, and that really warmed my heart. Felt like a very feel-good week here on the program. The Kane interview yesterday. Today is one of my favorite episodes since we've come back. The wide range of guests from Moses Itauma to Dave Feldman and his story. Payton is a hoot. He's an absolute hoot. And then, of course, Matt Hamill as well. Go back and watch Tough 3. His feud with Bisping was a great one. His fight against Bisping was a great one as well. The Jones fight, and he had a great run in the UFC. One of two athletes that I've come across in my life. Obviously, I know him on somewhat of a personal level, and he was an incredible story and an incredible person to cover when he was in the UFC, who are deaf and who are able to defy the odds and become incredible athletes on the biggest stage possible. The first time I came across someone who was deaf, who was playing in the major league, so to speak, was back in 1993. There was a player on the Montreal Expos named Curtis Pride, and this is an amazing moment. He gets called up. It's September. The Expos, my favorite baseball team, are involved in a pennant race with the Philadelphia Phillies. It's a Friday night in Montreal. I'll never forget it. In September, Curtis Pride gets called up, and we had heard about him that he was a great prospect, but he was also deaf. Huge game against the first place Phillies. And I remember in his first at-bat, look it up, an incredible moment, one of my favorites ever as a kid. In his first at-bat, he hits a double in a massive moment. It was maybe the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning of a huge series against the Phillies. He hits the double, and he's on second base. And one of the coaches, either the third base coach or the first base coach, has to go up to him and tell him to tip his cap because he hears nothing. He said afterwards that he felt the vibration of the stadium. There it is right there. The coach had to tell him to tip his cap. I get chills talking about it. One of my favorite moments ever as a sports fan, and certainly as a baseball fan. And I was just blown away by his courage and his talent. And then later, some, 18 or so years later, I meet Matt Hamill, and he continues to inspire. So what a wonderful story, and what a wonderful way to end today's program. That really warmed my heart. What a day, gents. What a day. What more? Where else do you get this?
We
is there more?
Ourselves.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that there was more. Frank, how about the fact that I came into the control room this morning, and I was like, I saw this video about Dave Feldman, but I don't think it's real. I think it's like some, AI thing. And then you actually looked it up and told me, like, yeah, you think it's real. And it obviously ended up being 100% accurate.
I was waiting at the edge of my seat to see how that was going to go down. And the look on his face, man. Like, when we talked about the story and I read a little bit online, like, because it was so unbelievable, the emotion was missing from it. And then seeing it on his face, it, like, made it all so real. And it's just crazy. So it's been quite the emotional roller coaster today, for sure.
Yeah, and there was more to it that he revealed as well. So I guess you guys are going to BKFC.
Hell yeah, we're going to.
Like. Oh, I'll be there as well. Apparently,
I'll be there no matter what.
BKFC Knucklemania 5.
That's right. Specific. That's a good point.
They actually had a, I forgot to send them in. They had a wrapped SUV out there that David Feldman showed up in.
No way.
It was
serious?
Promoting Knucklemania 5.
You get a picture of that?
Yeah, I did get a picture of it, and I forgot to send it to Jordan for us to put on there.
I mean, that's pretty damn amazing. He brought a.
Yeah, what's in the merch bag?
Should we open it up?
Yeah, let's see, man.
All right. Maybe there's like, I don't know, 10 million?
I need something to wear to Knucklemania 5, man.
Knucklemania is a great name, by the way.
I know. I want to get a Knucklemania shirt. I was thinking about getting a Knuckles from Sonic shirt.
Look at that hat.
Yeah, this is Frank's
Nice.
newest hat.
Oh yeah, that's got Frank written all over
Can you
it.
take it off your head before you get it
Oh,
on?
a little water bottle.
We
That's
love
your
a good
thing,
water
man.
bottle. We love a good water bottle, and of course, now here's the thing. He did note Rick was there. He's like, you're a lot taller in person. I was like, yeah, most people say that. So most people when they give
All
me
5'6"
merch,
of you.
most people when they give me merch, they usually give me a
so bad.
medium or large. They think I'm tiny. They think I'm a flyweight. I'm an XL. Sometimes I even venture to double X. What do we got here? Large. It's not bad.
We have some other swag that
I'm
has
just saying,
different-
no, everyone always thinks I'm tiny. It's
No,
like,
no, I
I'm
know.
pretty swole. I don't know.
But I will say, before the interview, before he walked in with the swag, he said, there's different sizes. I wonder. Don't worry, we'll take care of you.
Oh man,
I saw him and
I need something to wear in Big Philly.
I was like, thank you for telling your story. Can I get a ticket to BKFC, please?
That's what you said, huh?
No, not in a million.
You know, we were actually talking about.
He
going
didn't
to
even say the
Knucklemania
thank you
5.
for the story part.
Yeah.
He just said, "Can I have tickets?"
Yeah, he just said.
yeah, that was great. So like, if we get tickets, will they be like?
Where will they be at?
Yeah,
I actually
sitting by you.
Frank no sold it all day as we're talking about it. Me and Rick are like salivating. We're like, where are we going to stay? How are we going to get there? Frank says nothing the entire time, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like, Frank, do you have any interest in going? And he's
These
like,
guys don't
"Oh,
know
for
how
sure,
to
yeah."
invite people to anything.
No doubt.
They're just like, if you want to go.
You mean the part where Connor, the part where Connor 3 times today went, does anybody want to go to
I didn't say
BKFC
it. Oh.
3 times?
Yeah.
That part?
Man's a mumbler. That's all I got to say.
We'll be there. We will be there.
Mumbling.
What is it? What is it that? Isn't it that meme? We will be
I'll be there no matter what.
Yeah, I'll be there no matter what.
You could say the same thing, right?
Listen,
You're always bragging about how close Philadelphia is.
Can I be honest with you guys? Like, this is
Yes,
straight
you
up.
can
This is a
always be
shoot.
honest.
This is a shoot, brother.
Don't like BKFC.
I wanted to go. It's an
There's
hour and
the
a half drive.
excuse. Yep.
I literally, WrestleMania week, I went back and forth every day. You remember that? We went to SmackDown.
We went. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But here's
The
the
Liberty
but.
Bell is in
Hit-
my
hit-
backyard.
Hit us with the butt. Hit us with the butt.
Literally in the middle of yesterday's program, I get a flight receipt from my wife saying, I booked the trip.
That's fucking bullshit.
Literally on
She
January.
booked the flight to
No.
Philadelphia.
She booked
That's
the flight
incredible.
to Toronto to see her good
What?
friend Marla on her birthday.
Yeah, so what does that have to
And
do with
yeah,
you?
what do you-
What does that have to do
What
with
happens
you?
to my kids?
They come to Knucklemania 5. Clara
You know
will
what?
love it.
You know what? If they're invited, could you imagine I roll up with my
babysitting pen
kids?
for
Yeah.
Knucklemania?
Yeah.
And I said to her, I was like,
They thought WWE was fake. Wait till they see Knucklemania 5.
I said, like, it's Knucklemania 5, right? Like, you know this.
You know this,
it's
Jacqueline.
on the
You know it.
calendar. It's on the family calendar. It's
Show
been,
the interview from today and then have her explain why you can't go.
Do they ID at the door? Like, can kids go to Knucklemania?
I
Yeah,
just,
that's
They sell youth T-shirts on the merch store. I was
I'm
looking
sure
at it
kids
today.
can go.
It's Philadelphia, man. It's not California.
I brought a baby to a Bellator event. I wonder if there's actually like a
it's
age
not
thing.
Knucklemania.
No, I know.
It
it's
ain't
not
Knucklemania 5, baby.
It ain't Knucklemania.
This
We'll
is
go
the
get
best
Philly
promo for
cheesesteaks.
Knucklemania.
We're gonna get a picture with the
now I'm
Rocky
feeling jealous.
statue.
Now I'm feeling jealous.
Yeah,
Back to-
enjoy
back to
wherever
Wells
you
Fargo.
sit.
Hey,
I've-
take my hat off your head, please.
Yeah,
I've
you're
only-
You're wearing
I'm-
that.
I'm gonna open up a Wells Fargo bank
Okay.
account just
Okay.
for the event.
Here's the
Little
thing
high
that's so
yield
funny.
savings.
Frank is like, take your hat off. Take my hat off your head. There's no chance Frank goes to this. Zero. I can predict
Better
the
chance of me
pullout.
going?
Yeah, better
No,
chance of
no,
me going.
no, I
I can
disagree.
predict the
I
pullout
disagree.
now.
We were in Atlantic City last
Hotels
year.
open on my screen right now.
Yeah, we splitting one.
Spilled water.
I'm predicting the
Bring
Frank
my wife.
pullout right now.
Bringing your
Guaranteed.
wife. So
Wow.
you guys have one bet, I'll have the other.
Yeah, who cares? We're all family.
Come on, man.
Share everything.
Let's get to
One
the super
night off
chatters.
over there, Frankie.
We got some super chatters. Let me answer some of these before we say goodbye. This is from Cowboy Pigeon. Hi, Rick. Are you okay with fans saying hi? You bumped me last night exiting the train station emergency door. You were watching your phone. I was scared to say hi. What the hell, Rick? Are you that guy?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Okay, so
Is this true?
100%. I was playing Magic. I'm sure of it.
Wow.
And I'm very, I mean, as you guys,
You're locked in.
anybody who's walked with me, I'm a New Yorker. I do not look
Called
up.
hyper attention.
I do not, saunter. I do not waste time, energy. I am a direct beeline to where I need to go. Be damned, anything in my way. I apologize profusely if I pinned you like that dude did to Ariel in the bathroom earlier. Please, next time, do stop me and say hi. But otherwise, if you don't stop me, I am going to continue moving forward, whether you're in my way or not. That's just the New York way.
That was, that was quite the revelation when I read that. I was
But yes, definitely
you
playing
think
Magic.
this happened? You think this happened?
Oh, I'm sure it happened.
Oh, wow.
I'm certain. And I'm certain there's been many other victims of this in the past, but not many that also would recognize me and have known. So apologies. Next time, get out of the way or stop me and say, "Hey, are you New York Rick?"
They're in the chat right now.
Either of
saying
those
it's
two.
34th Street, and they're in all caps. I think they're just elated that
30. Yes, that's I get out a pen to go. So,
what about Frank just doxing you right
100% certain.
in the chat.
I mean,
I was
literally, you didn't have to say
playing
it.
Magic
Look, I
on
know
my
you got
way
pinned
to
in the
my
bathroom
Long Island Railroad train. Shout out to you. You're a legend.
Sleeto says, GC, please speak on the absolute banger that is Firas Ziam versus Mike Davis, the curtain jerker for the Izzy Imavov Saudi card. What a fight that'll be.
Wow, shout out to Sleeto, man. Always sending in super chats. We appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? Mike Davis, Faraz Ziam for the Saudi card is what Steve Garcia versus Edson Barbosa is to the UFC Seattle card. If you've never watched a Mike Davis fight, they're incredible. Even when he doesn't get finishes, they're always wars. And like sneaky, Faraz Ziam is like 6-2 or something in the UFC, and Mike Davis is like 4-1. Both guys on good runs. Sleeto knows ball, man. Sleeto know ball.
He does. How about this one from Jamal? Awkwardly quit job on Monday. Any stories of you quitting? Well, I have a pretty legendary one. I worked for Spike TV in September of 2007. My first day was on a Monday. The following Monday, actually, okay, so Monday, Tuesday, we were in the office. Wednesday, we flew to Las Vegas to work, quote unquote. I put it in quotations on a UFC card that was headlined by Dean Thomas versus Kenny Florian, and I was there. This was a dream job. I'm working in television, home of the UFC, Spike TV. I wanted this so bad. And I remember, okay, first day there, we're just kind of walking around. Second day there, kind of walking around. Third day, I asked my superior, I'm like, so what exactly are we doing? Like, we're not really producing stuff. We're not really making things here. And he says to me, I'll never forget, he's like, we're just kind of here to make sure everything's okay. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't sign up for this. I can't just be here. I felt like I was in the way. I felt like I was taking up space. I remember sitting in the truck. That was a cool experience to see what happens with the commercial breaks and the producers, the directors. You know, I never really sat in a live truck before. I got back to New York on that Monday. So 7 days later, I walked into my boss's office, Brian Diamond, the head of Spike Sports at the time, and I said, I think I've made a big mistake. This job isn't for me. Now, this is an absurd thing. I tried for months to get this job, but I'm the kind of person, if I don't feel it, I don't feel it, and I don't want to live life not feeling it. And so I said to him, I don't think this job is for me. I think I need to go. I'm sorry this didn't work out, but I'm not the right fit. He told me I was making a huge mistake, that I would regret this forever, that I would never, ever, ever bounce back, that I would never live this down, and made me feel awful, to be honest. I stuck around for about a month and change until they found someone to replace me. And during that month, around a week or so after like just completely being the black sheep, I remember going to Whole Foods, Columbus Circle, calling my very good friend Aaron Cohen and saying, hey, I'm thinking of starting a website and going full on into combat sports journalism. And I was going to interview MMA fighters and wrestlers and boxers. And I'm going to show people that I can interview fighters more so than anyone, better than anyone. And I would reach out to them via MySpace, and I would post an audio interview with a fighter every single morning at 8 a.m. And I would give myself from October of 2007 to April of 2008 to get noticed. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back to TV production. I've told this story before. And that's what happened, jerrypark.com. And in a way, it kind of hits me right now. jerrypark.com was the precursor to uncrowned.com, because for all the people who try to say, like, I know nothing about boxing or I don't like boxing, go back to jerrypark.com. There's a ton of boxing content there. For those that say the same about pro wrestling, go there. The original dream was all three. There was a thing called the Fight Network back in the day, and they were covering all three very seriously. And I thought that was the end-all, be-all. And that's why in November of 2007, a month into my journey on jerrypark.com, when John Pollock reached out to me to be on Mauro Ranallo's radio show, when they asked me to be a guest, I thought that I had reached the mountaintop. That was my Netflix. And so I come all the way back now. Now, of course, over time, first job I get is an MMA, and I'm like, okay, there's a path here, and I'm someone who has to go all in. But the goal was always people like to use me talking about. I see this all the time, like, oh, Dana White hates you, that's why you have to talk about boxing. You guys, just because you think your life and life in general needs to be just stick to one thing, that's not the way I'm wired. The goal was always to come back. The goal was always to spread my wings. The goal was always to be more than just an MMA guy, more than a combat sports guy, more than a sports guy. Just because you can't understand that and wrap your head around that, don't saddle me with those low expectations. And so go back to Jerry. It's right there on the website. All that content is still there. It took some time. I spent a lot of time. I got to ESPN. I did the NBA thing a little bit. I got to do some other stuff, Olympic thing, bird watching thing, this thing, that thing. And now here we are back doing the combat sports thing, among other things as well. So, yeah, it was pretty awkward. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty awkward. But Jamal, don't let anyone tell you you're making a mistake. Don't let anyone tell you you're wasting your time. Follow your heart. And as I like to say to everyone, you only get one life. You only get one shot at this thing. If you're not feeling it, quit, move on. It might be tough. You might have to eat some shit sandwiches. I heard a great quote just yesterday about shit sandwiches, about eating them and about life being just a bunch of them being served to you. But it's how you digest them, Frank. It's how you digest the shit sandwiches.
I prefer not to eat a shit sandwich at all.
It's a damn good quote.
Shit sandwich is similar to fruit before or after dinner type thing.
Oh, it's funny you say that.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
I was eating, I've been lately, canoodling with the staff, and I was eating lunch with you guys, which I enjoyed.
It's important to note that you're making a delineation here, because that would mean that previous to this you didn't.
Well, it was different. I mean, without getting into it, it's different. I get in, it's late, I'm sitting on my desk. We were all very close to each other. I could literally sit on my desk and eat and talk to you guys, but now there's like it's a whole freaking track. We
can't have food in the control room, but you can eat while you're...
The point is, I was eating with the boys and girls yesterday, and I didn't want to note it because I didn't want to open this can of worms. But true or false, everyone's eating their lunch. It's a great time. I'm actually genuinely thinking to myself, wow, I really like these people. It's nice to hang out with them. Everyone's done eating. And at the end of their meals, which are heavy meals, there's rice, there's salad, there's fish, there's all kinds of things, Rick breaks out an apple. And he starts cutting this apple. And the first thing that comes to mind is, if I did this right now, I would be done. I mean, the bloating, the issues that I would have, the apple after the meal.
This is the most insane
so it's
thing
like any time. I thought this was apple at night. I thought this was like you can't eat it at night. You can't eat an apple, period?
No. The fruit always has to come first.
As the first thing of a meal.
Otherwise, this feels like a placebo.
No, it's empty. I'm telling you, man, it ain't placebo.
Did you see him
cut a plastic knife? Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
It ain't a placebo.
If I have a piece of fruit of any kind after a meal, I am effed. Effed.
I don't understand. What? I don't understand.
Ask Payton Helwani. Payton Helwani will tell you that you have all this food in your stomach, and when the fruit sits at the top, I always have this visual. She would tell me the fruit sits at the top, it rots, and thus you have indigestion. This is what she told me when I was a kid, and I know. I feel like
because it's in your head, you automatically think it's going to happen.
I'm terrified of it.
I had mandarins, bananas, apples all throughout the day today.
This morning, right?
2 bananas, 2 mandarins, 2 apples. I mean, I was doing it all.
What's the cutoff? Like a cucumber? That's part of
By the way,
group.
I'm not saying this to...
Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? Yeah, we can find out by trying to get you to eat a tomato after you eat.
Can't eat my pizza unless it gets
tomato
first.
Tomato's okay because that's in a salad.
Is there a size of meal that has to be eaten? What if it was like you ate some fruit and then some other fruit on top of it? Now... What happens then? Is it like Inception?
That's a good point.
That's okay. Like
what
a
if
fruit
you just ate a shit ton of fruit salad?
No, that's okay. But
wait, that's okay?
Well, because it's just fruit salad. It's just all fruit.
I love this image of like a sewer cap of food, and then the fruit just sits on top and rots.
If I have like a meat sandwich, right, or a hamburger, or lasagna, if I top that off with,
blueberries. Couple handfuls of blueberries.
Okay, I have to know something.
Fuck.
Did somebody at some point in your life tell you that this would happen, or
Yes.
did you
My
just
mom.
discover this?
No.
You see that
No, he keeps saying
eliminates
this.
it.
When he
That
was a
eliminates
young
it.
kid, they
Yes.
sat him
Nah,
down and
yeah,
was just
see,
like, "What are you hoping to get from Santa Claus?"
Not
And
real.
he was like, "Oh, I hope I get a bike." She's like, "Well, don't eat any fruit after your dinner, or you're fucked."
Not real.
She
Okay.
said, I would
I
feel
love-
some sort of way. I would feel some sort of way. And she's like, yes, of course, it's rotting at the top of your stomach. I mean, I could call her right now.
I
and she
love
can
your
explain it to
mother.
me.
I don't think that's
Truly,
how
one of the
anatomy works.
nicest humans ever. This is a fabrication. I cannot
Look it up.
You know, I actually went to the doctor, the gastro last year, and he was just like, "Are you eating fruit after you move?" You know,
what'd
it
he say?
sits on top of your stomach and
Yeah.
then it rots.
See?
And I was like,
Validation.
"Show me that
I went
somewhere."
to medical school. for this
Validation.
one fact.
Thank you,
This
doctor.
is crazy.
No,
This
I
is
mean, we
crazy.
got all kinds. Listen, Jews are known to have sensitive stomachs. We've
Yeah,
got all kinds
that
of
I
problems.
know. That one.
IBS,
That
this
old.
and
That.
I think you might
uh,
just have like an intolerance to fruit.
No, because I can eat a fruit, and I tend to not have fruit like post 10 a.m. unless I'm on an empty stomach. Because if
You never have fruit.
if I have a fruit, no, you know, a nice little banana in the morning,
Okay,
mango, things of that nature. But like I can't. If I have it now, I'm kind of screwed in.
What if the fruit is inside something? What if
What if it's
like,
in a dessert?
or no? What if
like an
what if
apple
it's like
pie?
what if
Yeah.
there's some
Risky,
apple?
risky.
My favorite salad. Shout out
Deep
Chop.
surgery on the apple pie.
My
Risky.
favorite salad has apple slices in it. What if you ate a salad with apple in it?
You can't do it.
Risky, very risky. In fact, if I have like a strawberry ice cream,
was just about to
risky
say,
as well.
strawberry ice cream is
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
No, but what if there were real strawberries on the ice cream?
It's minimal.
What about the
So a
cherry
piece
on top of the
fruit
whipped
is
cream?
worse for you than
Cucumber, bell
dairy
pepper, jalapeno.
flavored, fruit flavored dairy.
Yeah. And by the way, pay attention to those cherries on top of your ice cream because they have red dye in them. That's bad news.
Yeah, they're maraschino cherries. They're not-
And the microwave gives you rays that'll kill you.
Oh, we don't have a microwave. I
That's
told you
what I'm
about
getting at. Like, I'm
No,
starting
the dyes
to
are actually
now.
bad for you. The dyes are actually bad for you.
that. The dyes are horrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
don't
really
don't
bad.
get
Like
don't
the
get Jacqueline
fake
started on the
They're
dyes.
illegal in.
Oh, we don't let our kids have the dyes.
Yeah, it's smart, man.
I let my
you
kids
let them
have
have
a
fruit?
yeah, they're fine with the
Before
fruit
or
thing.
after dinner.
I let my kids have a Shirley Temple and
You take out the cherry.
and all hell broke loose. The Shirley Temple, the dyes.
Oh, you got in trouble.
Man, I
Okay,
had
I got it.
I had Captain Crunch berries over the break. That
Oh, yeah.
was just chock full of the
You're
dyes.
hanging out in an elementary
You got the. Well, I was hanging out with my nieces and nephews. They're crushing it, and they're like, "Yo, Uncle C, you want a bowl?" I was just like,
Uncle
"Absolutely, I do." Uncle C, and then the 5-year-old calls me bruh.
Unk? No unk yet?
No unk yet.
I get unk.
But I mean, I looked at I was like, what are in these bad boys? I mean, laundry list ingredients. It's like red 40, red 5, yellow 8, blue, purple, just like a million types of dyes in there.
There's nothing
confession.
I
I was like,
love
okay,
more
great.
than reading
Great.
a long list of dye colors. Love it. Or a restaurant with a C health code rating.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two signs I know
Let
I'm
me
eating
up.
good that night.
While we're
Those are the
laughing
two
at each
signs.
other.
Crazy.
Captain Crunch berries are also elite. If we ever get into a cereal conversation,
When I was younger, I would look at the back of like a bag of Skittles and see like red 7, blue
Yeah.
3. I thought that was
number of-
number of the quantity. Of
Oh Jesus! Are you serious?
wow,
I love it.
Wow,
Frank's over
I
there and
just-
saying, "There's not even a blue one. Where's the blue?"
I thought maybe you had to mix and match to get to the blue. You know, it's a primary.
I love it.
color.
wow.
Well, on that note, great stuff. Great stuff had by all. New episode of The Boys in the Back tomorrow. What are we
Yes,
talking
sir.
about?
We're going to talk about, as you alluded to earlier in the show, if anybody was following along with us then, the John Jones $30 million story, the
Yeah.
rumor, the
Yeah.
proposed amount that he would be asking for. We'll dive deep on that. We'll probably touch on a little bit of Dana White joining the board of Meta. Might be something that we dive into. We'll preview the first UFC card of the year. And we'll have our pound for pound as we always do. So don't
What is the pound
Banger
for
out
pound?
in the desert this weekend.
Banger
That's
out in the
definitely
desert.
what we're going to talk about. Future bets for the year. Got two in two different divisions. Champs at the end of 2025 bets. Pound for pound rankings as we look ahead to the year that 2025 will be. Months. Power ranking
And then
months.
the big. Wait, you're ranking the months, the best
Yeah.
months,
That's
Are
not,
already
Pound for pound
ranked.
rankings months.
like July 1.
Yep.
Oh,
well,
of course.
not
Is it
July,
one?
obviously.
Is that?
July's
Did you just
not one.
reveal your pound for pound number one month?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said this. July is the Saturday of the calendar.
No,
I like that.
no.
I like that.
It's the only month no school.
I like that.
Wait,
But maybe on maybe the Monday
Depends where you live.
you
Yeah,
give
it's
Jordan a
pretty
list
geographic.
and we can tear it apart again.
Sure, happy to do that.
But
Happy to do that, and excited for the boys to be back. Of course, the Crack Live on Friday. The big question, of course, don't tell me now. The big mystery is, will Juliana Pena be a part of the Parlay Pals? We shall see.
We shall see.
We'll leave it at that.
Much more worried than us.
Things were said. Things were said.
Not to us.
Things were said over the holiday break. Lines were drawn. Dare I say, threats were made.
Frank, why did you threaten her?
I just felt like we needed to, get to the end of this.
I added a new item to our set here. My kids used to collect wrestling toys when they were really into it in 2020, 2021. And one time we got the Hulk Hogan standing on the ring, mini ring from WrestleMania 3. I put Junior Dos Santos in it, but my wife was going to throw it out. I'm like, are you crazy? This is an incredible artifact. And I mention this because I do believe on Monday's program, we're going to have Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, who is a wrestling toy aficionado on the program. Of course, one of the biggest stars on the indie wrestling scene. And we could talk maybe about some of these wrestling toy artifacts, which I do love. I used to have a box of LJN toys that unfortunately my lovely mother gave away.
LJN, like the brand?
LJN.
The little rainbow?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
What else did they make?
They made a lot of, they published a lot of Nintendo Entertainment System games. There were like licensed movies. They probably did a couple wrestling games.
Yes.
What's funny though is they're notorious for LJN games were the worst.
Oh.
But the toys are probably awesome.
The toys were fantastic. As was today's program. Thank you very much, all our guests. Dave Feldman, Payton Talbott, Matt Hamill, and the great Moses Itauma. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to them. Back on Thursday, same time and place. Thursday. Peace. We're out here.